WNYathletics.com would like to thank today's sponsors, Howard Hanna Real Estate Services. Ready to sell your home? Visit howardhanna.com today. Howard Hanna, home happens here. Western New York Immediate Care, with 4 convenient locations in the Buffalo area: Amherst, Buffalo, Depew, Lancaster, and Orchard Park. Western New York Immediate Care is now offering telemedicine services to provide you care anytime, anywhere. Visit WNY Immediate Care on-site or virtually at WNYimmediatecare.com. Logistics Plus Buffalo is your go-to resource for all your transportation needs. LP moves freight of all shapes and sizes all across the world. Call LP Buffalo today at 716-877-9653 or email buffalo@logisticsplus.com. Ad Pro Sports. Ad Pro is the largest team sports dealers and brand merchandise providers in the nation. For a variety of custom merchandise solutions, from apparel to promotional items, visit adprosports.com. Empire Electric. For all your home, business, or office electrical needs, call Empire Electric at 716-634-0330. Free estimates and financing available for all customers. Empire Electric. Call 716-634-0330.
Week 3 of Thursday Night Football on Western New York Athletics brings us to downtown Buffalo. The South Park Sparks welcome in new divisional foe Kenmore East to All-High Stadium. Since their 2015 state championship run, the Sparks have looked for their next star quarterback. Enter Noah Willoughby.
Noah's obviously off to a great start. He set the school record for passing yards last year, and he has done a ton of off-season work. You know, we feel real confident in the guys that we have catching the ball, running the routes, and Noah feels real comfortable with those guys as well.
Willoughby has a more team-oriented goal for this season.
If we could put a smile on our senior's face and have them go out knowing I didn't waste my senior year, I had a very good senior year, and just giving them a chance to go to college. Giving them a chance to go to college for free, that's all I want to do.
While the South Park Sparks have had a dominant past half-decade, the Kenmore East Bulldogs look for their first victory in a couple seasons under first-year head coach Matt O'Malley.
That's trying to build up their mental toughness and trying to build them together as a team, and the players who are accountable to themselves, accountable to each other, and instilling confidence in them so that they can go out there and compete.
Competing is just what first-year quarterback Michael Bly looks to do.
We have a different attitude. Like we're not expecting to lose. We wanna win.
We expect a high-flying game on Thursday from Robert Rich All-High Stadium in downtown Buffalo. It's the South Park Sparks and the Bulldogs of Kenmore East. Only on Western New York Athletics. Hello, folks. A good Thursday evening to you. Welcome to downtown Buffalo, just outside of downtown Buffalo, at Robert E. Rich All-High Stadium in Western New York for Thursday night high school football. It's the Kenmore East Bulldogs entering today 0-2, 0-1 in Class A3, taking on the South Park Sparks, who look to build off a victory over Amherst last week. They stand at 1-1 overall, 1-0 in Class A3. Folks, once again, we welcome you to Robert E. Rich All-High Stadium in Buffalo, New York. It's Class A3 high school football action here in Section 6. We want to recognize the South Park JROTC Sparks Battalion for the honoring of the colors during the national anthem here at center field of Robert E. Rich All-High Stadium. Good to have you with us here on Thursday night. Back in the booth for Thursday night, it's Mike Fata and myself, Jack Cruiser, bringing you the action from All-High. Coach Fata, good to be back on Thursdays.
It certainly is.
So we've got a good matchup here, Kenmore East, South Park. Now the South Park Sparks look to continue dominance, and we can talk more about this as the game goes on. But, Coach, what are your expectations for today's contest?
Well, I think all eyes are on Noah Willoughby, the South Park quarterback who leads Section 6 in passing in this early season. But I think he's the story here tonight, and he's where all eyes are going to start off.
So last week for Kenmore East, they come off a 40-14 loss on their home field at Adams Field to Starpoint. In Week 1, it was a 44-12 loss at McKinley. That game played at Riverside. So the first game for the Bulldogs at All-High this season will be played today. For the South Park Sparks, they come off a 44-0 victory at Riverside. That same field last week, defeating the Amherst Tigers in a shutout fashion. In Week 1, they lost a nail-biter, 33-26 at Frontier. The Falcons took care of the Sparks. We've got some players to watch for tonight's contest as the coin toss is set to get underway at midfield. For the South Park Sparks, as you mentioned, Coach Noah Willoughby, undoubtedly the player to watch under center for the Sparks.
Yeah, I think Willoughby, everything for South Park's going to go through him, and I think we're going to see the ball in the air a lot today because of his talents.
Noah Willoughby, number 1 in passing yards in Section 6 this year through 2 weeks. Just a hair under 600 yards through 2 weeks. He's throwing at a 64% clip. We can't wait to see number 4 in black and red today. For the Kenmore East Bulldogs, their head coach Matt O'Malley says it all starts with their running game of Owen Davidson.
Yeah, I think Coach O'Malley knows he's up against it tonight. They have to play really well. I think they have to get out of the gate really well and get some confidence from the players early on.
They finish up the coin toss at midfield. And we wait. What has happened? Starpoint has won. They will receive the opening kick. If you're just joining us here, it's Thursday night high school football on Western New York Athletics. South Park looking to extend their winning streak to 2 games today, and Kenmore East, a program looking to get out of the mud. They've not won a game in a couple seasons going back to 2019. In fact, these two teams have played 3 times before. 2-1. The Sparks have the lead all time since 2011. They played in 2011 at Kenmore East before they had built Adams Field. It was an 18-8 South Park victory in what Coach Delaney of the Sparks said was an absolute mud fest. They won't have to deal with any mud today, as they didn't on the next 2 games that they played. In 2012, the following year, Kenmore East took down the Sparks 27-12, that game at Riverside, and then a 7-year hiatus brought them to Adams Field in 2019 for a game where South Park took care of the Bulldogs 36-9. So if history repeats itself here, Kenmore East looking to bounce back into the win column here at All-High Stadium, the first game that they will play here this season. The Bulldogs will kick off as the Sparks won the toss and elected to receive. Bit of a chillier day in Buffalo this afternoon. As the sun sets, it drops below 70, though no clouds overhead. Kickoff fielded deep by number 2, Dreyon Johnson. I beg your pardon, that's Nani Rivera getting things underway, and an early flag on the first play of the game.
A lot happening in the kickoff there. It might have a horse collar. It might have a block in the back. I'm not sure what the referee chose.
Kenmore East And the visiting Whites with the yellow pants. South Park, Coach, we mentioned it pregame off the air. Great uniform set for the Sparks.
Yeah, first and foremost, we can read the numbers. That's a good start from up here. Yeah, always looking sharp over there in the recent years with Coach Delaney at the helm.
Easy to look good in red and black.
Absolutely.
Plenty of good combinations you can go with there. The first time this season they're going with the black uniforms on the red pants. I was at their practice on Monday when they announced that to the players. When Coach said, we'll give you the red pants for this week, it got a pop out of the kids. They enjoyed the opportunity to wear the red bottoms today.
It's always fun for the players that switch it up and pretend they're Oregon.
I don't think Nike has a sponsorship with the Sparks just yet, but it looks like we may re-kick this opening kickoff. So the time will have eclipsed. 7 seconds has gone by. Kenmore gets a chance to kick it even deeper this time. Any thought of an early onside kick attempt to catch South Park sleeping?
Well, I don't know, but I'm not sure what transpired there to re-kick. We had a fielded kick in bounds. I'm really not sure.
So 2 offsetting penalties will start this game over again. 7 seconds has passed. The Bulldogs to kick with their punter, kicker, punt return, and kick return specialist, Austin Turnbull. Deep to receive are Giovanni Pagan and Nani Rivera. And Rivera fielded the first. It looks like he will field the second as well. This one hopefully will count. Rivera right up the gut. Nani Rivera down before the 35.
Nani Rivera, one of the more explosive players for South Park. I think we'll hear his name said often tonight.
So out comes the South Park offense and their quarterback, Noah Willoughby. He plays a lot like Tom Brady, he says, reading the defense and taking what they give him. Last year, setting the South Park season record in passing yards, 2,644 yards through the air for number 4 in shotgun. 2 receivers up top. Willoughby goes that way. Off the hands and intercepted.
Well,
Willoughby gets picked off on the first play of the game.
I know Coach O'Malley is happy with that. Just the start he wanted. Play, Kenmore East takes the ball with the turnover, and that's what they needed.
"19 seconds have gone by, and we've got a turnover already. Kenmore East. They read that all the way, Coach, on the screen pass.
He busted up the screen. He was right there, and some good focus to tip the ball in the air and fall down. I didn't think he had it at first, but good focus to bring it down and turn it around here.
So 1st and 10 for the Bulldogs, deep inside South Park territory at the 34. It's a handoff to Owen Davidson up the middle, pushes the line forward for a good gain on 1st down.
Tough run for Davidson there, straight ahead. Shoulders first run. It's a good 1st down. That was 7 yards. Great start for Kenmore East.
It's exactly what Matt O'Malley wants out of his team that he's coaching for the first time this season. 0-2 to start the year, but there's a lot to like about the way that the Bulldogs have played in the first 2 games this season. Some early mistakes have cost them in the previous 2 games, though forcing one does them quite well here. Under center is their junior quarterback, Michael Bly. Handoff again to Davidson.
Well, getting the straight dive brings up a 3rd and 3.
Michael Bly, wide receiver turned quarterback. Last year, 3 receptions, 18 yards through the air. Also a starter at the linebacker position defensively last season. He's got 164 yards through the air this year. Just 3 carries. Bly under center with 2 in the backfield. And Myquan Jackson split out to the near side. Handoff inside, up the middle. A 1st down for the Bulldogs.
I wonder if this is some strategy from Coach O'Malley. I know he knows what is across the field for him there. He's got a team that's going to throw the ball a lot. And 3 straight dives for 1st down. And they're right about in the red area there.
Joe Kelly Jr. gets the carry for the Bulldogs there and the first down. Fourth play of the drive after the interception and the pitch. Deion Baker gets taken down behind the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, Bly pulled the ball there. I'm not sure if someone made him pitch or he pitched prematurely, but he pitched his running back right into a hit there.
Second down and 11 coming up from the 22-yard line. 3 minutes into play. Already a turnover and Kenmore East driving. Our first tackle for loss on the game comes for South Park. Not the way the Sparks wanted to start the game, though a stop here would be huge. In shotgun now, second and long. Throwing to the near side, incomplete. He was looking for Jaden Young.
Yeah, Young was well covered on that play. I think he might be actually fortunate, Bly, that that ball was in the dirt.
Third down and 11 now. We haven't seen Bly throw deep.
Third down and 11 for the Bulldogs.
This South Park defense, a 4-3 base. They've got some big boys up front in Tyshawn Campbell. All you need to know about Tyshawn, number 72, he's 6'2" and 350 pounds up the gut. Good luck moving that mountain of a man. Third and 11 from the 23. And movement before the snap. Looks like this could be on South Park.
Javari Bald might have initiated that.
And it was. So that'll give a little breathing room for Kenmore East. If they had a kicker, I'd think about, well, if this is fourth down as well, think about sending out the field goal unit. But third down and now 6 after the penalty.
You got to think that Kenmore East is in 4-down land here. So I wouldn't be surprised if they go back to that dive that got him 7 yards.
Owen Davidson at running back. The lead back for the Bulldogs. It all starts with him, says their head coach. He's to the left of the quarterback, Bly. Shotgun snap, looking right. Throw is tipped and caught along the sideline. Jaden Young gets his feet in bounds near the first down marker. He'll be short by about a yard.
A well-timed route. He knew where he's going all the way. He's timed with the cut of Jaden Young, and they're close. They're about 2 yards away here.
Out of the sideline comes Joe Kelly Jr., number 44 in white. Under center, Michael Bly. Handoff inside to Davidson. Pushes the line. We look at the spot. It'll be close.
Some good push there by Kenmore East.
First down, Bulldogs.
Yeah, the line won the battle there despite the heavy front from South Park, and the clock keeps ticking.
On the first drive of the game, South Park picked off in their own territory. Now Michael Bly pitches. It's a fumble. Scooped up and taken down the sideline. A.J. Watts. Touchdown, Sparks.
To the house. The Sparks take the fumble back all the way for a touchdown.
Just disastrous for Kenmore. They're driving with the ball, and I'm not sure that he needed to pitch that. Either way, it's out. And once Watt got that ball, I don't think there's any catch.
He was looking for Deion Baker, but Bly put it too far out of number 3's reach. Watt scoops it up and takes it from the 20-yard line all the way to the end zone. South Park, not the way they thought they'd score their first touchdown on the day, but we're sure Tim Delaney will take it. Extra point attempt, they'll go for 2. You won't see South Park send a kicking unit on it on the field. High snap handled, Willoughby throws end zone, he's picked off. And the play's blown dead. Now this I don't understand, Coach. We saw this happen a few weeks ago as well in another game at the high school level. It was Orchard Park Jamestown, where in a crucial moment of that game, a 2-point conversion attempt was picked off and blown down immediately.
Well, there's a flag down. I don't know what to do with it, but that is curious.
So this is against South Park. I beg your pardon, against the defense in Kenmore East. Still, however, I'm so confused why these plays are being blown down. So it was on South Park. To me, you let that play go, and you see if the opponent can score a point there.
Right. I'm equally as confused.
We'll have to confer with Francis Beck, who's producing for us today. We'll have to check the rule book. We'll get that to you at halftime. Well, boy, oh boy, we weren't expecting this start at all. An interception on the first throw from Section 6's leading passer. He gets picked off. Kenmore East converts on a 4th down. And on the following play, a fumble results in an 80-yard touchdown fumble recovery. The Sparks go up 6-0. 8:30 to go in the first.
A wild start for sure. The only consistency was really the Kenmore East run game, and even that, I guess, faltered. But Willoughby with really 2 interceptions in his first 2 passes. There's something else we didn't see coming.
A.J. Watts with the fumble recovery touchdown with 8.5 still to play in the first quarter. A 6-0 lead for the Sparks here at Robert E. Rich All-High Stadium. Approaching the centennial for All-High Stadium. More on that in a moment. This one fumbled on the kickoff, scooped back up by the returner Turnbull. First and 10, just past the 30.
Yeah, Jack, it's my understanding they could return the 2-point conversion, so I'm not sure. Either I'm ignorant to the rules or they changed it, or
perhaps different.
I was dreaming when they did change it. Well, I thought the high school did change that, but maybe they changed it back, or maybe I'm imagining that it was ever the rule.
Could be. Well, I know you can return a blocked field goal attempt after a score, because that would be, if it was returned in the end zone and the team that was kicking fell on it, it'd be a 1-point play, the only 1-point play in football. We don't have that, folks. Don't worry about it. Here's Michael Bly in shotgun with 1 to his left. He throws that way to Baker. Taken down by Rivera.
Baker and Bly on the same page. Another timing route. A quick little hitch out there, and Kenmore East showing some diversity.
Six 0 South Park. Kenmore East looking to answer after a fumble was scooped up by the defense of the Sparks. Now a pitch this time is complete to Baker. That's a pass. He takes it around the right side before being hauled down about 6 yards behind the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, trying to get to the wide side of the field. South Park's all over that. They had an extra hanging guy on the other line of scrimmage. Not too many guys can outrun that South Park defense.
Javari Ball, the returning starter on that defensive line. He was 3rd in total tackles this season, entering today with 16. Well, it would have been his 3rd tackle for loss on the year if not for the penalty. It'll instead be a first down for the Bulldogs. Boy, Matt O'Malley, the head coach of the Bulldogs in his first year, Coach Fata said that it was those self-inflicted penalties and mistakes in the first couple games that cost them against Amherst and against McKinley. We've seen that already. Early mistakes lead to scores the other way, but if they can capitalize on this drive, it would be crucial.
Yeah, I think if they...
Bly goes deep. Incomplete. He was looking for Myquan Jackson.
And one path of success for Kenmore East is just that sustained running game. You know, they're in that pro-T formation. They were being patient. They're running the ball well, and you know, I wouldn't want to get in a battle with South Park where I'm throwing the ball evenly with them.
It looked like Jackson could have made a play on that ball. Michael Bly got good yardage on that one, released from around his own 40 down to the 25 of South Park. He prides himself on his deep ball throw, and he didn't hold back in letting it fly there. Though him and Myquan Jackson just not on the same page. Seven and a quarter remain in the first quarter. Second down and 10 from the 46. Handoff to Davidson up the middle. A minimal gain.
South Park bring a little edge pressure there. You know, Damari Johnson coming off the edge and just walking that down from behind.
Big number 44 on your screen in black. A 4-year starter for the Sparks is Damari Johnson at middle linebacker. He's the leader of the defense and leader of the team, a captain for the Sparks. 3rd down and 8 for Kenmore East on their own side of the 50 at the 48. 6.5 to go, looking to respond after the fumble. Cost him 6. Bly met at the line of scrimmage and dropped behind it. Juan Bland in there for the tackle.
Yeah, Bland just squared him up right in the perimeter there. And
out comes Austin Turnbull to punt. Boy, if Bly would have connected with Jackson on that deep pass, it would have changed the story of this game. Already a wild story. Jaden Young gets his number called on the sideline last minute for the punt unit. Lines up on the near side up man position. A high snap grabbed out of the air and a beautiful punt taken by Turnbull. It'll get a friendly hop for the Bulldogs and stop rolling just around the 30-yard line. 6-0 South Park. 5:29 to go in the first quarter. Let's see if Noah Willoughby can throw the ball without getting picked off on this drive. We'll find out right after this.
We realize now more than ever is the perfect time to have the perfect house. We're confident we'll find your dream home. Howard Hanna. Home happens here.
Sometimes it just isn't your day. We all need a little help from time to time. That's why we're committed to providing safe, quick, and cost-effective care. And we keep it simple. Just walk in. We're here for you. Learn more today.
Willoughby's pass complete along the far side. 5.5 to go in the first. South Park first completion on the day. That's Corey Williams on the catch and run for about Willoughby throws again, this time to Rivera. It'll be a first down for the Sparks. Like clockwork, they pick up the first down.
Willoughby taking what they're giving them. Yeah, the Kenmore East DB's just backing off. That's easy. He'll do that all day.
We mentioned Noah Willoughby, number 1 in passing yards in Section 6 throughout all classes, AA through D. He's also 2nd in Section 6 in yards per carry within Class A3. With a minimum of 10 carries, he's averaging just over 10 yards per carry. So you don't want to give number 4 the opportunity to throw or pass, or run, that is. Good luck minimizing his chances on the field as we've got an injury down for South Park.
You know what Coach Delaney was so impressed with as well as his work ethic. He's an all-in guy. He's a weight room guy. He goes to camps. He really takes the time to hone his craft, and that's something that is going to take him far.
Caden Walters, the injured lineman on the play, he walks off under his own power. It's the first game being played by the Sparks this year at All High Stadium. Freshly renovated turf and track surrounding the field. New goalposts as well. First down and 10 at the 42. Willoughby in shotgun. Rolling left, going deep, looking for Pagan. Jakowski in coverage.
Willoughby under pressure showed good presence. He evaded one defender coming and shooting in there and put a ball right on target.
That was Austin Turnbull, the deep safety on the play. Pagan was open.
Yeah,
he beat the man.
Turnbull might have got a hand on that, but with the flick of the wrist, that ball was right on target.
See it one more time, that 7-step drop. Right there with him, stride for stride. Under 5 minutes to go in the first quarter, second down and 10. 4 wide. Willoughby over the middle, incomplete. Hit Rivera in the hands as he looked back for it. It'll bring up 3rd and long.
Yeah, you can see why Willoughby leads the league in passing yardage. He is accurate. He throws a good, strong ball. And both balls weren't just line drive. That one was a line drive, but the other one had some touch on it. So he understands how to throw the ball and the nuances of throwing someone open.
South Park looking to remain undefeated in Class A3. Kenmore East fighting for their first win since 2019 Week 8. Willoughby on 3rd and 10, rolls to his right. Completes the pass to the near side. Pagan makes a man miss. Giovanni Pagan down inside the 15.
Explosive play by Pagan. Good for Turnbull to hawk him down, giving his team a chance, but I don't think South Park's attempted a run yet, have they, Jack?
No. All through the air, and it resulted in a pick on the first throw of the game. This their second drive, though the first lasting longer than that one play. 1st and 10 at the 15-yard line. Handoff this time. Snuffed out at a flag. Nicholas Cray on the tackle, big number 74 on the D-line.
They just turnstiled that guard and maybe in the center, Jabari Frank. Maybe that's why they haven't been running it.
Could be, though Brandon Simmons Bragg, the lead back, a sophomore, has progressed a ton since last year. This year, 14 carries, 72 yards, 2 touchdowns. Looking for a pop out of the sophomore lead back. You'll see Corey Williams in the backfield as well at some point tonight. Under 4 minutes to go in the first quarter. So call against South Park, a hold from the spot of the foul will back them up deep. Still in offensive territory and still first down, though 1st and 23. From the 28-yard line, Willoughby goes to the end zone, tipped away by the defense of Owen Davidson.
Davidson over the top there. Pretty well covered, actually, by Ken East. I don't think that South Park's that uncomfortable, though, with even 2nd and 23. the way they throw the ball.
Willoughby, one of the best passers in Western New York. Tim Delaney was talking to us saying, you just got to see it to believe it. This guy's got an absolute cannon, only a junior. Last year was the starting quarterback at South Park, set both the single season and single game passing records. Here he is on 2nd and long. End zone again. Pagan, touchdown. Make that A.J. Watts with his 2nd touchdown on the day.
He's kind of got a sense there that South Park didn't mind it was 23 yards to go. They're so comfortable throwing the ball, they know that they can get yards in chunks. Watts got behind the defense there pretty easily.
A.J. Watts has a fumble recovery touchdown and a receiving touchdown. 35 yards out. Hauled that thing in. A beautiful dime from Willoughby.
Yeah, Watts had single coverage there, and I think Willoughby knew where he's going from the jump.
12-0 lead, looking to make it 14. Incomplete on the 2-point conversion. Defensively broken up by Jaden Young. 12-0 is where we stand. 3:07 to go in the first quarter. We'll be right back on Western New York Athletics after this.
Western New York Immediate Care's new locations are now open. Whether you've suffered a minor injury or just aren't feeling well, Western New York Immediate Care provides safe, quick, high-quality care at an affordable cost. Our clinicians are trained to diagnose and treat non-life-threatening injuries and illnesses, and are equipped with on-site X-ray and labs to help you feel better, faster. With patients open 7 days a week, Western New York Immediate Care is here to help when and more.
Logistics Plus is a global transportation provider headquartered in Erie, PA, with locations worldwide, including right here in Western New York.
A 12-0 lead for the South Park Sparks entering the final 3 minutes of the first quarter. A fumble recovery touchdown for 80 yards for A.J. Watts, and a 28-yard touchdown reception has the Sparks up 2 scores. Here on Western New York Athletics, Mike Fata, Jack Cruiser bringing you the action on Thursday Night Lights in Western New York from Robert Rich All-High Stadium in Buffalo. This stadium opened up back in 1929. Here it's been featured in a couple of films, including The Natural. If you remember the baseball movie back in '84, they used the stanchions that are behind the camera that you see here as a placement for Wrigley Field in Chicago. Stands a little similar to that of Wrigley. They had to do some post-editing to double-decker the stands, just a single layer of seats here at All High. Kenmore East looking to respond after going down 2 scores. Flags will stop them from doing that, at least on first down from their own 39.
Another flag here.
It was Deion Baker on the carry, and he was snuffed out by the lead corner, Jaden Coriano, I beg your pardon. There you hear it on the public address. A holding call will back up the Bulldogs within their own 30-yard line. That holding call, spot of the foul call, 10 yards from the spot rather than from the line of scrimmage. It backs them up a little more than it would have, though just a yard more. 1st and 21.
Yeah, that's just a brutal penalty for Ken East.
They had good momentum on both of their last 2 drives. Their first drive of the game off the interception of Willoughby ended on a fumble that was scooped up by Watts for an 80-yard score. Bly goes to the air deep again down the right sideline, too far ahead for his receiver, Jaden Young.
Jaden Young well covered there by South Park, who just kind of let the game come to him, especially defensively.
Nani Rivera, the deep safety, making sure even if that ball was caught, it wasn't going anywhere. 2nd down and 21 now from the 28-yard line of the Bulldogs.
You get the feeling as a tipping point in the game here. Kenny's really needs to move the ball. If South Park gets the ball back and scores, it could be a very long night.
They were just inches outside of the red zone on their first drive. This pass way too high for Myquan Jackson.
Once again, edge pressure with South Park coming off the wide side of the field there. DeMar Johnson. Seems like one of their most favorite pressures is bringing him off the edge there, and he's run free every time.
Missing their right tackle are Kenmore East. Cameron Zolnowski on IR today. Sam Camp in his spot on the right side of the line. They just had 2 returning starters on that offensive line. It's Patrick O'Hanrahan, the center, and Matthew Reinard next to him on the right side. Reinard, a captain as well. 3rd and 21. A crucial down for Kenmore East. If they convert, they continue offensively. In motion, Young. Handoff up the middle. Stopped short.
Yeah, you're going to get a punt here out of Kenmore East. And once again, we're still in the first quarter here.
Amari Johnson makes the tackle as he beats out Owen Davidson just past the line of scrimmage. A loss of 1 will bring up 4th and long, and the punt of Austin Turnbull. 12-0 lead for the South Park Sparks. Turnbull boots this one past the 50. The Sparks will let it fall and bounce. Stops right at the 48, downed by Owen Davidson. Tomorrow night, these 3 games on Western New York Athletics, all at 7 p.m. Bust out your tablets, iPads, and laptops and get all 3 streams going. Lockport at Jamestown, Pioneer at West Seneca East, and Fredonia at Tonawanda. Pioneer West Seneca East, the key matchup in that one. A game to watch between 2 solid schools in the same class. Potentially a preview of what we could see at the stadium. Well, this early in the season, you could say that about just about any divisional rivalry game, though potentially not this one. South Park looks to get back to the stadium after winning the sectional title. Back in 2020, they beat Jamestown, completing a back-to-back sectional championship run. They won in 2019 over McKinley in a 10-1 season. They went unbeaten in 2020. Of course, the COVID spring season played in 21. They didn't go to the stadium for that game, though they beat the Red Raiders of Jamestown 30-29 in overtime of the championship game in that one. Last season, graduated a lot of seniors, though still went 5-5 and won the Class A Chuck Funky Bowl, which is that consolation tournament for those that missed the playoffs. Here's 2nd and 10. Willoughby throws near side. Caught. Turning his way down the sideline. Giovanni Pagan. That's him this time. Making a couple men miss. Pagan tries to go around Turnbull. Breaks another tackle. Still on his feet. Down at the 1-yard line. Giovanni Pagan.
Dynamic player Pagan is, and he comes up a yard short after that effort. Not only cutting and slashing, but finishing the run at the very end. And it's a shame he came up a yard short there after that effort, but what an athlete, what a target.
Austin Turnbull thought he got beat a couple times. He got back on his feet and ended up making the tackle to save the touchdown. 1st and goal from the inch.
We're told it's Pagan.
Apologies to the Pagan family.
Deep apologies.
A.J. Watts has both touchdowns so far for the Sparks as we approach the final minute of play in the first quarter. A 12-0 lead, just 1 touchdown offensively. 1st and goal inside the 1. Willoughby rolls left, tosses over the middle, touchdown. Pagan gets the grab and the score.
Very fitting Pagan got that. I know Coach Delaney dialed that up because he deserved that one after the dynamic play and tough finish to his run that set the score up. And good to see Pagan get that score.
It looked like Willoughby was only looking for number 6 in the end zone there. Had a couple of options.
It was only right.
18-0 the score, awaiting the 2-point attempt. Both teams with limited numbers on the sidelines here in Class A3. A lot of players you've seen play both sides of the ball. Willoughby for the 2-point conversion. Throws to the near side. It's good. A.J. Watts has 2 touchdowns and a 2-point conversion to boot. 20-0 the score. 48 seconds to go.
Yeah, Willoughby and South Park making it look easy. When you're that talented, it looks so easy. It's not easy. And the accuracy and the arm of Willoughby really carrying South Park right now, along with the efforts of his receivers.
Pagan gets the touchdown. It's his first touchdown of 2022. Giovanni Pagan, back in week 1 against Frontier, he got hit up high, took a scratch to his eye. He didn't want to come out of the game, so they threw an eye patch over his right eye, and he played at the slot position with one eye to see out of, and he finished the game. He made a couple catches on screen passes and made a couple men miss. Pagan just doesn't stop. Now with full vision, gets his first score of the year here against Kenmore East.
Oh.
And an onside kick attempt doesn't go the 10 yards.
I feel like one eye would maybe make it fair today because he's been fantastic.
Tim Delaney doing his best to give a hand to Matt O'Malley here, giving the Bulldogs good territory, 1st and 10 in the offensive zone. Coach, if you were on Kenmore East's sidelines right now coaching, would you be offended by that onside kick call?
All's fair in love and war. I wouldn't. I'd maybe wonder, but no, I would never be offended. Your job's to get it done, and I never felt that way.
Davidson up the middle's got a hole. One man to beat. Goes around Rivera. Owen Davidson, a huge gain on 1st down, and the Bulldogs are driving.
My favorite play Ken East runs, it's a straight dive. They've had a ton of success with it, none bigger than this play where he busted for 40-some yards. And, I was surprised to get away from that early on.
The final 10 seconds tick away off the first quarter. A great high note to end on for Kenmore East. They'll be inside the 15-yard line to start the second quarter. 20-0 the score. South Park on top. Kenmore East looks to respond after giving up the first 3 scores on the other side of this break on Western New York Athletics.
Sometimes it just isn't your day. We all need a little help from time to time. That's why we're committed to providing safe, quick, and cost-effective care. And we keep it simple. Just walk in. We're here for you. Learn more today.
Do you insure a lot of businesses?
Yes, we do.
How about restaurants?
We got a bunch.
Do you cover property damage?
Yes, we do.
How about my equipment?
Covered.
How about sewer backup?
We got it.
What if my cook gets hurt?
They're covered.
Foodborne illnesses?
Covered.
What if my party tent goes down?
Covered under property damage.
And you say this is all under one policy?
One policy.
When do I pay?
Once a month.
Just one time?
Just one.
Is there anything you don't cover?
What's your record for consecutive questions asked?
31.
Tables. We don't do tables.
Gotta love Buffalo.
For all your insurance questions, call the Wolf at 835-WOLF.
We realize now more than ever is the perfect time to have the perfect house. We're confident we'll find your dream home. Howard Hanna. Home happens here.
First quarter in the books from Robert Rich All-High Stadium in Buffalo, New York. The South Park Sparks, off a pick on the first play of the game, have rebounded to a 20 20-0 lead over the Bulldogs of Kenmore East. Good to have you with us on Western New York Athletics for Thursday Night Football in Buffalo. Mike Fata, Jack Cruiser joining you in the booth. A 20-0 lead for South Park, though the final play of the first quarter, a good one for the Bulldogs of Kenmore East. Their first big play on the day, the running back Owen Davidson busts it up for 35 yards, now 1st and 10 at the 15. Bly under center, hands off Davidson, up the middle, touchdown! Kenmore East responds immediately. 20-6.
Kenmore East getting pushed on every one of those dives. I don't see what would stop them from running that more often. They've had nothing but success with that play. Not to mention it slows down that offense running the ball, the South Park offense, run the ball like that. I think you're going to see a lot of that.
They'll attempt the extra point with Austin Turnbull. Bly the holder. Snap up high, set down, and good. Turnbull now 3 for 3 on extra points this season. Brings it within 13 points, 20-7. The Sparks still on top, and they'll get the kickoff here.
Something to build on for Ken East. They have to, maybe they onside kick now, Jack. Who knows?
Well, a 2-play drive after that onside kick failed attempt ends in a touchdown, and it took just 2 minutes off the board. Not even. They wind down the first quarter, start the second quarter with possession, and the first play of the quarter takes only 8 seconds off the board. A 13-point ball game, South Park to receive the kickoff. Perhaps, like you mentioned, an onside kick here. You got to give it a shot at some point.
Well, after we saw how it's run on the other side of the ball, maybe, I mean, this would be appropriate, right? At least certainly more appropriate than being up 20.
I still wonder what Delaney was doing on that last onside kick call.
Yeah, he wanted more.
Fair. You want the ball in a ball game. Still an entire quarter to play before these teams hit the locker rooms. High-flying action. 4 touchdowns already. Turnbull to kick this one away, and it's a good one. Back to the 4-yard line. It drops and rolls into the end zone. You rarely see touchbacks at the high school level. We get one here.
Well, I tell you what, if I had a kicker like that, I would never do an onside kick, because that, you know, having someone that can kick it through the end zone like that is super valuable. That's a strength for Kenmore East for sure.
The one time that South Park had a kicker, they won the state title back in 2015. Went all the way in Class A. They nearly did it again back in 2017, 2 years later, though undefeated season for South Park came to an end at the stadium, losing to the West Seneca West Indians, who would, of course, then win their own state title with Matt Myers, now UB quarterback, at the helm. Willoughby would like to get to those ranks with the Myers and Tyree Browns of the world.
It was an all right football program. Since they entered the section, they've really built one of the best programs in the section. Year after year, Coach Delaney and his staff had put some of the best teams in the sections out there.
You got to see them, Coach. Head coach at Cheektowaga at the time. The first game for South Park in Section 6 in 2010. Week 1, they traveled to the Galleria Mall in Cheektowaga, New York to play your Warriors.
That's right. And tell you what, what's most impressive is how far that program's come since then, because they have grown again into a powerhouse, and that's a product of the hard work of Tim Delaney and all those guys. Coach Eldridge.
Noah Willoughby's complete to Rivera, makes one man miss. Across the field, he's taken down beyond the 25. On 1st and 15, they pick up more than 10.
You just get the feeling, Jack, that these guys get the ball in their hands, and you know it's if you're Kenmore East, you probably get a lump in your throat because they could take it any time. They're dynamic.
Nani Rivera, that's exactly what Coach Delaney said. He's explosive, and they want to get him the ball in space to be as shifty as he can be. It's exactly what he proved there. 2nd down and 5 to go. Willoughby drops back, going deep. Looking for Williams, incomplete. Davidson got pressured there defensively. He's getting a workout in tonight, number 21.
Yeah, those vertical routes are how Coach Delaney is choosing to attack that man coverage. Not a deep safety in the house there. They're playing, looks like straight man across the board. 0 coverage, and safety backing off now, but
handoff up the middle. Simmons is taken down.
Expect South Park to take what the defense gives them, and Coach Delaney's not going to stop throwing the ball if you see 0 coverage like that.
4th down and 1. Still in shotgun is Willoughby. This time he takes it. 1st down, Sparks. A 13-point lead for South Park. Most recently, they gave up the first touchdown of the game for Kenmore East. Looking to kill clock and add on to their lead here. They're just waiting for the Bulldogs to make one of those big plays on 4th down. They've had the chance twice here. 1st and 10. Willoughby throws to the far side. Pass is caught along the sideline, tiptoeing his way past Turnbull, staying in bounds. A.J. Watts, have yourself a day. 3 touchdowns for A.J. Watts, and the Sparks continue to pour it on at all high.
I don't know what the answer is to that. They backed off, and one missed tackle and another one, and another touchdown on the board.
65-yard touchdown pass and run for Watts' 3rd of the first half. It's 26-7, awaiting the 2-point conversion. Well, that breaks his longest catch of the year. Before today, he had 7 receptions, with his longest being 37 yards, nearly double that for this score here. Willoughby directing traffic before the 2-point conversion in shotgun. 2 receivers up top, hands it off inside. Brandon Simmons is in for 2. 28-7. The South Park Sparks on top. Well, they were held at 4th down, Coach Fata, in their own territory. They were able to get the 1st down, and it leads to the big score.
Yeah, they don't skip a beat, do they? They can throw the ball. I won't say better than I've ever seen, but pretty close. They're efficient. He's accurate as a thrower, and even in the 4th and 1, he can get a yard when he needs to. So he's a special player for sure.
Is there a player he reminds you of that you've seen at the high school level during your coaching days?
Well, he can flick the ball for sure. I know Coach Delaney's had some athletes at that school, but man, he can throw it. I know Tim told me that he's the best he's had throwing the ball, and I questioned that because I know he's had some players, but he wasn't kidding.
Willoughby was at Canisius his freshman year back in 2020. An onside kick attempt again. This one goes well beyond the 10 yards, though is taken down shy of the 40 by the Bulldogs and Myquan Jackson. So Willoughby in 2020 enrolls at Canisius High School, where he did not play football his freshman season. It was that COVID year, so football was played in the spring. He transfers to South Park in the spring of 2021 after not playing in the fall of 2020. He's a film junkie, so all he did that year, he told me, was watch film of high schools, colleges, and pros, building up his repertoire in his mind And you can see that recall on full display here today and throughout the past year. Last year, his first starting year on varsity as a sophomore, no problem. He breaks the school record for yards in a season with 2,600. He had 26 touchdowns, those 16 interceptions as well. And we saw one of those here today. Not one of those 16, but one of those here this season for Willoughby on the first pass of the game. So still some mistakes to get over, but you can see the potential that Willoughby has. And by the time he graduates, Coach, he could be a special player.
Yeah, he certainly can be that. And he's got a whole year in front of him. And, you know, even the interception he threw, he didn't skip a beat. Actually, 2 interceptions he threw if you count the 2-point conversion. You know, he likens himself to Tom Brady. I don't know if he's Tom Brady, but he certainly prepares like him, and he's got the drive that he has. And, you know, that's what really matters. It's going to take him somewhere.
Hand off to Owen Davidson up the middle. Owen Davidson, the heartbeat of this Kenmore East team. Had a few players last season, statistically, that were in the top 10s of their categories, though not returners, and they weren't seniors either. So a bit of turnover on the roster for Kenmore East, trying to keep the players within the football program, though they've done a good job of recruiting new players. 6 seniors on this roster with 50 on the JV side.
Yeah, Coach O'Malley's a bright future there, and he was excited when we talked to him before the game and how he has, you know, a 50-player roster on JV, and he's excited about the young players here on top of the seniors that he has. So, you know, like we talked about in 2010, he has what South Park had back then, and you know, he's going to take over the program and start building up from there, and I know he'll do a good job doing that.
It's not the first time he's taken over a team down in the dumps and has turned them around. He took over at Kenmore West back in the 2010s on that staff, where by 2015 he had a quarterback by the name of D'Angelo Walker, who made his way to now Highmark Stadium. At the time it was Ralph Wilson Stadium. D'Angelo Walker lost in the sectional championship game in 2015 at the AA level in a shootout, 34-20. Orchard Park came away with that victory. Walker now follows head coach O'Malley to Kenmore East. He is on the sidelines for the Bulldogs, and he practically ran the entire practice that I was at yesterday, running the drills with the players, calling out the offense, calling out the defense, running the scout team. Though he's not the defensive coordinator, he's the quarterback coach, you could say. When you've got when you've got a quarterback in the talent level of D'Angelo Walker, you can help the quarterbacks in that way. And he's been helping out Michael Bly, the junior, wearing number 4 in white today.
Yeah, so I think the key to a successful program is a consistent staff, and you know, Coach O'Malley's getting that in place, and you know, it's one of the first things you do when you get the job. And again, it'll come with time, and you know, I know he's excited about the young players that he has, and you know, even here, I think he's looking for is how do his players respond to being down in a game that's seemingly lopsided. You know, who's going to stand up and play hard to the end, and who's who's going to fold. You know, I know he's looking for that, and you know, those guys on the positive side of that are the ones you build a program off of.
You had an experience like that at Cheektowaga. We'll dive more into that in the second half, but interesting how you can take a team that has a fresh foundation that you can lay a culture onto, and you can come in as a new head coach and build a foundation to then create success off of. That's what Matt O'Malley's trying to do here, looking for the team's first victory since 2019. Down by 21 with 7 minutes to go in the half. Michael Bly wants to go deep. He comes to the near sideline. It goes through the hands of Myquan Jackson and incomplete.
Yeah, Bly hung in there, delivered a good ball. Unfortunately, it's through the hands there of Myquan Jackson, but looks like they're going to punt again, Jack.
4th and 9 here, right at midfield at the 50. Austin Turnbull trots out there. At some point, you'd like to see him go for one of these. Maybe 4th and 9, not the right time to go.
Yeah, short a guy out there. Coach Kelly up here in the booth is letting him know. He's going to get in the line of scrimmage. There we go.
Rolling right, Turnbull keeps it, and he's going to have the first down. Austin Turnbull converts. Number 9 moves the chains.
That's one way to do it.
I don't want to say I called it, but I wanted to see him go for it on 4th down here. Austin Turnbull picks up the first down.
Maybe it was all the player laid on the field was to coax the South Park team to sleep.
That motion pre-snap, moving the player over, perhaps drew the South Park defense away, drew their eyes away from the snap and the punter.
Were they working on that at practice when you were there, Jack?
I was not, though. They did work on the punts a little bit, though. The long snapper had that one go a bit low, so Turnbull, rather than trying to roll out and Aussie rules football style punt that one away, he keeps it and picks up a big first down for Kenmore East for the first time in a long time. They're inside the 35. And an injury on the field to a South Park Spark.
Yeah, but that low snap, I think, is what made that run on the punt formation there go down. And sometimes it's better to be lucky.
Could be a rather big loss here for South Park. Getting help to his feet is A.J. Watts. He's got 3 touchdowns today, and he walks off under his own power, though limping. For Coach Tim Delaney, there's no sense in forcing A.J. Watts to play. If he's got any sort of soreness or cramps in this game, up 21, still in the first half of play. 1st and 10, inside the 35 at the 34-yard line for the Bulldogs after a 4th down conversion from their punter, Austin Turnbull. Handoff up the middle again. Davidson with the offensive line pushing him. Well, they left a man behind, and it was Davidson. 3 South Park Sparks swallow him up and take him down.
But Ken East, who's down on at least 1 starter. I know Coach O'Malley said they were down 3 overall in the course of the season, but they're still getting push up front. And I wonder if they would have stuck to that run early on if they'd be in a different position in this game. Sometimes it's hard to be patient, but especially when you're against an offense that he's against. But you wonder if he stayed patient early on, if that would have paid dividends here.
Obviously, hindsight 2020, that pitch back that cost the first score of the game, I'm sure Michael Bly would want back as well. He's under center here. Hand off to Davidson again, and another fumble. Almost on cue.
Yeah, South Park's done letting that dive take place. They had 9 guys out in the box there, and I think they said enough's enough.
Well, if you recognized it up in the booth, Coach, you can imagine Tim Delaney recognized it on the sidelines. That dive's been working for the Bulldogs. Now 3rd and long.
Well, they have 2 downs to get about 7 yards here, so might see something. See something on the ground again here on 3rd down.
3rd and 7. The 31-yard line, Kenmore East. They scored on their last drive. Looking to do it here. They need a first down, and they're going to have it. Jaden Young tries to stay in bounds, and he does. Young, touchdown. Jaden Young makes 2 Sparks fly in his way to the end zone.
Well, I'd almost say South Park-esque there. That run was eerily similar to Pagan's in the first quarter, where he kind of dipped inside the defenders, and I think Pagan came up short, but Jaden Young didn't finish the run, and again, flashes of success there on the Kenmore East side.
Well, if you had the under, I apologize, but it's 28-13 awaiting the extra point for Kenmore East here on Thursday Night Football on Western New York Athletics. Thanks for joining us here tonight. We got plenty more football coming your way throughout today and the weekend. Tomorrow on Western New York Athletics, it's Lockport at Jamestown, Pioneer at West Seneca East, and Fredonia at Tonawanda. Jamestown has an incredible offense and a powerful running back and quarterback duo that you don't want to miss out on. West Seneca East has players up and down their lineup. Pioneer always strong in the trenches. Fredonia and Tonawanda, some smaller schools for those that appreciate those. And on Saturday, our lone game of the day is one to tune into. Western New York Maritime Health Sciences takes on Monsignor Martin's Canisius Crusaders. Maritime looking to build in Double-A now. In Single-A, I beg your pardon. They're in Single-A now, though. They have been the team that has stood in the way of the South Park Sparks numerous times. (28-13) is the score, awaiting the extra point from Austin Turnbull. He hit his first and he's hit his second. The lead has been cut in half with 5 minutes to go in the first half of play. 28-14. The Bulldogs respond.
Yeah, if Kenny's can find a way to stop South Park, it's a tall order.
But they've been close.
It starts with one, right? It starts with one. Either making a play or stopping on downs. They need to figure that out. If they can figure that out, they prove they can score as well, and we'd have a game.
They've had numerous fourth down opportunities, Coach. So many fourth and short, 4th and 1 on that last South Park drive before the Pagan big play. Right. They've been there.
You know, I'd like them to see him bring a little more pressure. I know they played a little man. I think the last touchdown they were in some zone, but you know, if you're going to play man, bring some pressure. And you know, what do you got to lose at this point? You know, bring a little pressure, and maybe that pays off.
28-14 is our score. Kenmore East to kick off. Turnbull sends this one deep. We're done messing around with the onside kick attempts. And here comes Nani Rivera, making a man miss. A flag has been thrown on the near side. Rivera might take this to the house regardless. Rivera taken down at the 35. We'll see what the flag was in the backfield. Nani Rivera. Talk about shifty.
Yeah, these guys are scared on the South Park side. But surprise, surprise, a flag on a kicking play.
It's that old Chris Berman call. Whoop! Right around 3 defenders on that run, eventually spun down at the 35.
Oh, both teams have had those tonight.
Giovanni Pagan.
Oh. Jaden Young showed that.
A.J. Watts even.
Certainly.
South Park will get the ball, albeit inside their own territory. So Kenmore East dodges a bullet.
Here's Kenmore East. It's time to make a play.
What are you dialing up here, Coach? Are you sending the house on first down?
I don't know about the house. You know, I'm sending something though. I'm trying to make something happen because I think it's clear if you sit back, it's just a matter of time, right? So, you know, why not die trying?
Well, South Park has yet to give up a sack this season through 2 games and nearly a half. We've got a scoring update from Williamsville South. Amherst up 22-19. Under 20 seconds to go in the first half there. So Amherst and the Battle of Main Street looking to take over there. That game on Williamsville South's YouTube channel. This pass, a screen for Watts. Good to see Watts back on the field, though he dropped that pass incomplete.
Pretty close to being a lateral. I don't know if, well, clearly it wasn't. The referee was right there, but.
And an injured Bulldog. (28-14). We've had everything you could ask for so far in this game. Coach, what's with the games that we get put on? Week 1, we had the same thing at Lakeshore between Lakeshore and Dunkirk. We got an 80-yard pick 6 in that game. This game starts out with an 80-yard fumble recovery for a touchdown.
I don't know if it's us, but we sure like it. We like the plays. Even this one, it seemed out of reach, but the players still keep making plays, and Ken East feels like they're a play away from making a game of it.
When Kenmore East drove down on that last drive, seemed to get a rise out of their bench and get some energy back on the sidelines. It's what Kenmore East needs the most. You mentioned it pregame. When the team gives up, when they know that they've lost, when they throw their heads back and say we've lost, you can consider the game over. But Kenmore East hasn't done that here today.
Yeah, I've seen none of that. I've seen no body language out of them. They're fighting, and those are the things that you want to take away from these games. Even if you go down, Coach O'Malley, who's first year in his tenure here, those are the things he's looking for. He's looking for guys he can build on, and it's easy to get discouraged when you're against an opponent that seems to be superior. But those games don't always get won by those superior teams, right? So they're persevering, and we see no flinching out of them whatsoever.
There you see D'Angelo Walker jogging off your screen on the bottom left there. He was just giving a good hype-up speech to his defense. Always helps having experience on the sidelines. We'll take a break on the sidelines here and rejoin you right after this. It's Thursday night high school football on Western New York Athletics.
Western New York Immediate Care's new locations are now open. Whether you've suffered a minor injury or just aren't feeling well, Western New York Immediate Care provides safe, quick, high-quality care at an affordable cost. Our clinicians are trained to diagnose and treat non-life-threatening injuries and illnesses and are equipped with on-site x-ray and labs to help you feel better, faster. With 4 convenient locations open 7 days a week, Western New York Immediate Care is here to help when and where you need us. Visit us online to learn more.
Do you insure a lot of businesses?
Yes, we do.
How about restaurants?
We got a bunch.
Do you cover property damage?
Yes, we do.
How about my equipment?
Covered.
How about sewer backup?
We got it.
What if my cook gets hurt?
Back from All High Stadium, 4:44 to go in the first half, 28-14. The Sparks on top. 2nd down and 10 after a dropped first down pass. Stop the clock. Willoughby wants to go deep, and he got a man in Rivera. And he's got himself a first down deep inside Bulldog territory.
Once again, they make it look easy, don't they? And it's not easy. But they're just so dynamic. It's got to be discouraging for Ken East, who grinds for everything they get, and then boom, one play and the field flips.
That almost looked by design for Willoughby to quote-unquote underthrow that ball. They caught Davidson with his hips flipped. He falls flat on his face on the turf after Rivera stops in his tracks and comes back for that ball. Perhaps the design deep curl on that?
It certainly could have been, or they're just great athletes, which they certainly are.
Direct snap to Brandon Simmons. Be it intentional or not, he walks his way into the end zone for the 34th point of the game. That's the 34th for South Park. 34-14 the score at this point, awaiting the 2-point attempt. Seven touchdowns now combined on the game. Simmons wants a 2-point conversion. He won't get it. Something positive for Kenmore East to build on. 34-14.
The South Park offense is just too explosive. I don't know how you can keep up with them scoring-wise. You're going to have to find something. I'm not sure what their schedule calls for coming up here, but someone's going to have to either have some good matchups or come up with something to slow that down, because they're going to be tough to stop.
Well, on the South Park side of things, They'll be at Grand Island next week, Friday, before another Thursday night game brings them to prime time against Starpoint. That game at Riverside, however. And Pioneer, Will South, and Western New York Maritime Health Sciences. That last game on the schedule may be the toughest on the schedule for South Park, prepping them for the postseason.
All right, so there are some teams on the schedule that'll match up with them. But again, Willoughby, having not seen him play in person, he's as impressive as they come. He not only does he have the arm, but he can make the decisions, and he knows how to put touch on the ball or how to deliver it on a line if he needs to. He gets it. So again, he's going to be a great equalizer in any game that he comes up against.
Not only the physical talents, but that extra work that he puts in before the game, almost more so important than the gifts that he's been blessed with and that he's worked with. Willoughby definitely putting the time in the offseason, during the season, breaking down film, committing plays to memory. You don't get that at the high school level at every school. A once-in-a-decade player, I would say.
And even more than what it does for him, he's the kind of guy that his friends want to follow, right? So, how as a player playing next to and around him, I think that's the kind of guy you want to have the ball in his hand.
Well, speaking of a player who came to play with Noah Willoughby, you mentioned that he's a player that his friends want to follow as a fumble is dropped by the Bulldogs, recovered, however, by Ken East. On the defensive side, the number one defensive back being number one, Jaden Coriano. He's from Massachusetts. He's got family in Buffalo, though played at Massachusetts. In a high school he was telling me that plenty of NFL players have come out of. He saw playing time there at corner, and he's friends with Noah, and he's been talking to Noah since he came to South Park back in the spring of 2021. Jaden Coriano decides to pack up and move to Buffalo to play with his friend in Noah and be on this team. He's been a stud defensively. Number one along the near side. That one he almost picked off, but he looked like he let his buddy on the defensive side make a play. It just falls incomplete.
Yeah, I had my eyes on him, and I thought you were going to call that out of the thin blue, out of thin air, because he was close to hawking that down too. I think he let his safety take a shot at it there, actually.
Victor Rivera was next to him. He definitely held up for making that pick.
Now you had the crystal ball on that, Jack.
Well, you set me up perfectly, Coach. How could I not take the chance? So,
watch out, another punt.
Turnbull. Last time, you're right, he did run it for the first down. This time he'll drop kick it away. Perhaps our first return, and we'll get one. A scoring update from Riverside. 24-0 Maryville on top of the Bulldogs. Coach, you know both of those programs quite well. Perhaps not today's Maryville and Burgard teams, but those two always competitive within their division.
Certainly. A lot of years thinking about those teams.
Do you wake up with night terrors sometimes thinking about that Maryville defense? Or
I don't. Maybe that wing tee.
That triple option.
The wing tee was not fun.
Here at the stadium, it was a good game between Central and the Flyers back in.
Always.
So is that 17?
Not sure, but they'll blend together, really.
Noah Willoughby blends this one downfield, and he's got a man at the 40. Corey Williams makes the catch. Another big first down completion.
And we talk about the different types of balls that he's throwing. Here's another example of how you know how to throw it, not just where to throw it, and put it up on a perfect spot. And here we go again. 233 is not a lot of time for these guys. They're going to score quickly.
Corey Williams, 5'9", up and over Owen Davidson. That one nearly picked off again. Jaden Young wanted it. It just tips off A.J. Watts' hands.
A.J. knows that he hit another one there, and he must have lost track of it.
That's that after the play down, Willoughby rolling out of the pocket. You saw the receivers. One receiver on the sideline stopped at the first down marker. As soon as Willoughby jumped outside the pocket, he sprinted down the field.
I thought we were going to see Willoughby run there.
Save the legs.
Well, he likens himself to Tom Brady, not Josh Allen. So.
More and more players, this being the third week of games that we've called, Coach, the more players that I ask what team they watched growing up. Back when I was in school, at least, very few friends and football players were Bills fans. Now everyone, I watched Josh Allen. Here's a deep throw. Allen-esque towards the end zone. Falls incomplete. Williams, the intended target. Perhaps that being a reason for 50 players on the JV roster for Kenmore East as well. Everyone wants to be a football player when you got the best team in the league in town.
Yeah, it's interesting. To your point about everyone's a Bills fan now, right? Because I remember just being in education and the students having these random fan teams. What was good that year, right?
Kid from the south side of Buffalo rocking a Ray Lewis jersey.
Explain to me how you're a Carolina Panthers fan.
Willoughby rolls out to the right. He is taken down. The first sack on the season given up by the South Park Sparks, and it goes for Dion Baker.
Was that a pass attempt?
Looked like he was tucking it. It'll be a loss behind the line of scrimmage. That'll be credited as a sack. Dion Baker from the linebacker position makes the play. Well, now another fourth down chance for the Bulldogs to get a stop. They've had three, make it two opportunities before this third attempt here. This one with a lot more space to give behind them, though. 4th and 11 at the 41. Tim Delaney calls in a timeout. We'll take one as well. 1.5 remain in the first half of play. It's a 20-point lead for the Sparks. Let's see what Tim Delaney draws up. We'll find out right after this.
Western New York Immediate Care's new locations are now open. Whether you've suffered a minor injury or just aren't feeling well, Western New York Immediate Care provides safe, quick, high-quality care at an affordable cost. Our clinicians are trained to diagnose and treat non-life-threatening injuries and illnesses and are equipped with on-site x-ray and labs to help you feel better, faster. With 4 convenient locations open 7 days a week, Western New York Immediate Care is here to help when and where you need us. Visit us online to learn more.
Logistics Plus is a global transportation provider headquartered in Erie, PA with locations worldwide, including right here in Western New York. Logistics Plus is consistently recognized as a fast-growing transportation and logistics company, great supply chain partner, top freight broker, leading project cargo manager, and a great place to work. With a strong passion for excellence, our 500-plus employees put the plus in logistics. Call our Buffalo office today for an efficient, personal approach for all of your transportation needs.
Robert E. Rich All-High Stadium in Buffalo, New York, the location for Thursday night football. 4th and 11, Willoughby rolls out, pressure coming, Willoughby taken down again. Back-to-back sacks, and it's a turnover on down for the Bulldogs.
Well, he really had nowhere to go there. He had one receiver open, but he was under pressure. He didn't get a chance to see him, and there's the positivity of bringing some pressure and throwing him off schedule.
1:11 to go in the first quarter. Ones are wild. 1st and 10 at the 45. Kenmore East. Coach, what would it mean for them to add a score here going into the half?
It would mean a lot more than if South Park would have scored there. Yeah, they get the ball in the second half, so, I mean, hey, 21 looks better than 14 at this point, I know that.
3-score game looking to make it 2. Handoff inside. That's what's been working for the Bulldogs so far. Owen Davidson.
I love the call. I love the call. You have the time to do it. You know South Park, you know the kids at least are thinking, pass before the half here. I would have liked to see him run the line and run it again.
Can Matt O'Malley be patient enough to run this run game down with a minute left? Though with the pickup of the first down, it stops the clock until the whistle blows and the chain crew is reset. Davidson again, another first down on the sideline. Davidson running after Dreon Judson is pushed out of bounds. Another first down and the clock stops.
Once again, I think minute's a long time in football if you're careful, and South Park probably in pass rush mode. They're backing off there as some deep safeties, and sooner or later they're going to run out of time though. And I know you're thinking Jaden Young or Marquand Jackson, seeing what they're given.
Michael Bly, 2 touchdowns so far thrown this year. They instead go to Davidson up the middle. Saquon Bland makes the stop.
Yeah, enough's enough, says Bland. But those 2 long runs get him down to the 20, and they have more than enough time to take some shots.
The Bulldogs will call a timeout. 46 seconds to go in the half. At halftime, folks, we will bring you an update around scores around Western New York, and a look forward to our games tomorrow on Western New York Athletics and Saturday. Francis Beck will join us for the call for that one, so we can let Mike Fata use the men's room and refill those almonds for half number 2.
That's a nice way of saying Francis is going to take my seat, regardless whether I need to go to the bathroom or not.
Well, hopefully you find your way back up to the press box for the second half.
I
In a 34-14 game, we'll look to see if Kenmore East scores here. You got to promise you'll come back.
I'll be back either way. I know my place.
If Kenmore East is able to score here, make it a 2-point game, they'll get the ball to start the second half. This final 43 seconds huge and something to build off of. They've already scored the most points that they've scored in a game this year. They scored 14 at Adams Field last week against Starpoint. They've got that now. Looking to add on to it. Bly looks to the near side, incomplete through the hands of Austin Turnbull.
If Bly would have pivoted there, he had Jaden Young running right down the middle. There was a safety there, but there was a lot of field underneath that safety that he could have got one of his better receivers with the ball and some space, but instead we have a 3rd and 10.
Bly prides himself on his deep ball pass. He's got an opportunity at the 22-yard line. Do you go for goal or go for the first down at this point?
I think you're going to throw down about the 10-yard line here. And you got 2 downs as well.
3rd and 10.
There's the pressure.
Bly goes end zone. It was caught. Was he in bounds? Yes! Touchdown, Myquan Jackson! What a toe tap for number 7.
Well, it had to be Myquan Jackson or Jaden Young. You knew that. And what a perfect ball. And a better catch. What a catch by Jackson on the far sideline there.
Myquan Jackson, the 3rd Bulldog to score today.
As you said, Jack, Bly prides himself in his deep ball, and that was perfectly placed. And the only way that Jackson could have came down with it. But what a catch by Jackson. What focus, and right by the sideline.
The extra point attempt from Austin Turnbull. He's been everywhere so far for Kenmore East, and he's 3 for 3 on kicks. 34-21. Folks, we have a ball game entering the final 34 in the first half, a 13-point game. Just 2 minutes ago, it felt like this game was all but wrapped up and put under the Christmas tree for South Park. Kenmore East, they get a stop defensively, they score again, and they kill enough time off where they're going to have to get a stop here with 34 seconds left, though enough time
Let's hope the 34 seconds isn't. I mean, I don't know. I kind of feel like South Park can score twice in 34 seconds the way they've been doing it.
We did see them score on 2 plays earlier in this game on a drive that took them about 40 seconds to score on. So 6 less seconds to work with here. And we had talks about this, speaking of seconds remaining in a half, the 13 seconds call for the Bills last year. There were plenty of fans saying what to do on the kickoff. Coach, what would you say is the right move here with 34 seconds left in the half?
Well, I don't think there's any question with the guys that Tim Delaney has back there. You kick this out of the end zone if you're able to, and I know that Turnbull has been able to do that already. Let's see what happens here.
Boots it deep to the 12. Returnable for Nani Rivera. To the right side, Rivera with blockers. Breaks a tackle, cuts to the middle, ball loose. It's scooped up by the Bulldogs. Kenmore East will get the possession on the other side of the 50 with 20 seconds to go.
Well, Rivera coughs it up, and hey, who knows, right? Is 16 seconds enough for Ken East?
We saw Michael Bly release a 22-yard touchdown pass, his last throw. Kenmore East brought a full group of cheerleaders for them today, and they're giving them something to cheer about. A season high in points scored today, 21. They look to add on to it in half number 1 on Thursday Night Football. Here on Western New York Athletics, folks, it is a ball game. Bly looks deep, near side. Young is there, though it falls incomplete. Broken up by Jaden Coriano from Massachusetts to make the play.
Kenny's going empty there. No backs. He got rid of it quickly in case there was any pressure. And there was a shot there. The South Park DB was step for step the whole way. Not interfering, but definitely rubbing that route out, and that it was effective.
Only took 4 seconds off the clock, and no timeout needed.
Ken East has some athletes, so that if they can get those guys the ball quickly and maybe chunk this here, they get a shot at the end zone.
Bly, empty set. Goes deep again. Incomplete over the middle, but a flag around the 30-yard line.
As we saw in the last down, those South Park DBs rubbing those routes pretty tight. Someone got a handful of jersey there down the field.
What a break this would be for the Bulldogs. Michael Bly returns to the sideline to receive the call. Austin Turnbull was just brought from the sideline onto the field.
Yeah, that's a good call by an official too. Many times in especially high school athletics, those kind of calls you don't see them because they're not easy to see, and it's the kind of thing you see get called in the NFL all the time. It happens in high school, and good for those referees for seeing it.
1st and 10 from the 32. Low snap. Davidson scoops it up and then gets dropped. 10 seconds to go and a timeout by Ken East. Not the play you wanted on 1st down, though the yardage gives you an opportunity here. And you've got a kid in Turnbull who can kick the ball far. Perhaps you think about going for the field goal here just to get more points before you return the ball out of halftime. Kenmore East will get the ball to start the second half.
It sure will. I don't know what his field goal range is. A different beast entirely, kicking a field goal from what it is kicking off a tee for a kickoff. But he has a strong leg.
Well, I saw it at practice yesterday. They ran through their special teams units. Turnbull was able to kick him down. He prefers that right hash, so we'll keep an eye on the play call here. If it's run up the right side, Do we have a counter on timeouts remaining for Kenmore East? We do not. We'll work on getting that. 34-21 South Park, the lead. Kenmore East, the most recent score. A fumble recovery on the kickoff return after that. 2nd and 11 for the Bulldogs, seeking their first win in 2 years here today.
Well, back to their two-back formation.
Bly under center. Hands it off to Davidson. Right down the pipe. He's taken down past the 30 and a timeout for Kenmore East.
Well, Coach O'Malley either wanted to get him a little closer for a last shot,
there you see,
or maybe they're going to kick it.
Talking with number 9. That's Turnbull. He's their kicker. And then you see D'Angelo Walker calling out.
You want a 46-yard field goal from here, right?
Well, if you saw the Monday Night Football game, you would know that perhaps it's not the smartest idea to take the ball out of your best player's hands. Michael Bly, one of the best players for Kenmore East, to attempt a long field goal. We'll see if they go for it. And they may. Austin Turnbull will line up for a 45-yard kick attempt. Turnbull with the boot. He's short by about 3 yards.
Yeah, that's well, he must be capable, because I don't think Coach O'Malley put him in that position if he wasn't. But that's not easy to execute.
(34-21) the score. After one half of play, they let the clock wind down. South Park is arguing they have a play left. The clock in the stadium never ran. The officials say that field goal attempt would have taken all 6 sevens. Tim Delaney's going to argue his case. I don't blame him, especially when he's giving up possession to start the second half. The Kenmore East team is already ready to walk into the end zone, though. The officials confer. That game clock not starting on the play.
Delaney wants a shot at end zone.
He's not going to get it. The Sparks will head into the locker room. Delaney still arguing his case. There was 6 seconds on the clock. You don't know if that field goal attempt would have taken all 6 seconds of that. Still, even 2 or 3 seconds, like you mentioned, Coach, South Park could score in that amount of time.
Oh, they certainly can.
Well, Kenmore East will plan to get the ball out of the half, trailing by 13. No one expected this score at halftime. 34-21, South Park on top. I'll be back with Francis Beck on the other side of this break, talking about the upcoming games this weekend and a look around Western New York. You're watching high school football here on Thursday night on WNY Athletics.
I love being home.
There's nothing better than owning the perfect house to come home to. You've earned it, and we'll make it happen. Our local real estate experts and in-house team of financial professionals make buying or selling your home simple. Howard Hanna. Home happens here.
I love being home.
Sometimes it just isn't your day. We all need a little help from time to time. That's why we're committed to providing safe, quick, and cost-effective care. And we keep it simple. Just walk in. We're here for you. Learn more today.
You insure a lot of businesses?
Yes, we do.
How about restaurants?
We got a bunch.
Do you cover property damage?
Yes, we do.
How about my equipment?
Covered.
How about sewer backup?
We got it.
What if my cook gets hurt?
They're covered.
Foodborne illnesses?
Covered.
What if my party tent goes down?
Covered under property damage.
And you say this is all under one policy?
One policy.
When do I pay?
Once a month.
Just one time?
Just one.
Is there anything you don't cover?
What's your record for consecutive questions asked?
31.
Tables. We don't do tables.
Gotta love Buffalo.
For all your insurance questions, call the Wolf at 835-WOLF.
Logistics Plus is a global transportation provider headquartered in Erie, PA with locations worldwide, including right here in Western New York. Logistics Plus is consistently recognized as a fast-growing transportation and logistics company, great supply chain partner, top freight broker, leading project cargo manager, and a great place to work. With a strong passion for excellence, our 500-plus employees put the plus in logistics. Call our Buffalo office today for an efficient, personal approach for all of your transportation needs.
Western New York Immediate Care's new locations are now open. Whether you've suffered a minor injury or just aren't feeling well, Western New York Immediate Care provides safe, quick, high-quality care at an affordable cost. Our clinicians are trained to diagnose and treat non-life-threatening injuries and illnesses and are equipped with on-site x-ray and labs to help you feel better, faster. With 4 convenient locations open 7 days a week, Western New York Immediate Care is here to help when and where you need us. Visit us online to learn more.
When it's time to sell your home, start with a visit to howardhanna.com, ranked the #1 real estate site for sellers. A few clicks will show you the sales price you can expect for your home. We can get you the most money in the quickest amount of time because we know where the local buyers are and how to reach them. So if it's time to sell your home, visit howardhanna.com today, and we'll match you with a local Howard Hanna agent to sell your home fast.
Being home.
Life can be full of surprises, but not always the good kind. That's why we're committed to providing safe, quick, and cost-effective care, and we keep it simple. Just walk in. We're here for you. Learn more today.
It's halftime here at All High Stadium, 21-34 the score, with the Sparks in control by 13, though Kenmore East made a big push there to end the first half of play. I'm joined now at halftime by a Kenmore East graduate, Francis Beck, joining us on the broadcast. Francis, glad to have you with us.
I'm glad to be here, and you know what? I have to say I'm pleasantly surprised right now as a Bulldog alum. I am very proud of the effort this team's putting up there. I was expecting this to already be a blowout at this point, and Kenmore East is hanging in there.
Certainly. Now, Francis, we've got plenty more games after this one concludes. Of course, we've got a few games around Western New York right now. Do we have any scoring updates across high school sports and high school football specifically in Section 6 for the Thursday night games?
Yeah, so last update at halftime, it was 30-19 Amherst over Williamsville South. Let's see if there's another update. 30-19 at halftime in that game. You know, it was 25-0 Maryvale over Burgard. Those are the other games going on tonight. Another game is Southwestern Chautauqua Lake. Don't have a score from that one in that game.
So, folks, I must let you know, ignore the graphic on your screen there. It is not 18:59 in time of possession for the Bulldogs of Kenmore East.
There we are.
We'll slide in here. Folks, thanks for joining us here on Western New York Athletics. The Sparks are currently on top over the Bulldogs, 34-21.
Let me just fix the screen real quick.
Go ahead, Francis. I'll take you through that first half of play. It was a fumble it was an interception on the first play of the game from scrimmage for the South Park Sparks. Here we go, full screen action on your TV, phone, and laptop. So South Park throws a pick on their first possession from scrimmage. Kenmore East gets stuffed out. They were driving, though then a fumble forced by the South Park defense. If that, it was a fumble on a pitched back, was scooped up by A.J. Watts. He scores his first of what would be 3 touchdowns in the first half. South Park scores 3 straight scores to go up 20-0. Kenmore East's Davidson has a 15-yard touchdown run. Watts comes back on the next drive with a 65-yard touchdown from Willoughby. Kenmore East's Young then goes on for a touchdown of his own, making men miss left, right, and center. Simmons answers for South Park. Kenmore East's Jackson, most recently in the final minute of play, scores a 22-yard touchdown. That's how we got to 34-21. Francis, what were your impressions of the first half?
You know, I saw a Kenmore East team again that was fighting. You mentioned it a couple times. This team hasn't won since, 2019? 2019. This did not look like a team that hasn't won since 2019. This looks like a team that was ready to fight. You know, a lot of teams, after that, you're driving on that first drive, you give up the ball, and you're like, oh, this all over again. But no, they fought right back. They scored 21 points, and this is not a bad South Park team. You mentioned this team is one of the top teams in the area, close to a top 10. They're good power, a well-coached team. They're staying right into this. They're showing the sparks. They're trying to match them for every bit they can.
This is already the highest scoring game between these two opponents in their histories. The first game, just 26 points were scored. Then the one game that Kenmore East won between these two teams back in 2012, it was a 39-point game total, 27-12. Kenmore East won that game at Riverside, and then a 36-9 South Park victory at Adams Field 3 years ago was obviously a 45 total point game. This game already well over 50 points here through one half of play. We're approaching 4 minutes remaining in halftime. Francis, let's take a look around Western New York tomorrow. Lockport at Jamestown. What can we expect out of that game? We'll go one by one.
Well, we know the Jamestown Red Raiders have to make a statement. They lost to Lancaster. They lost to Orchard Park. Now, not bad teams to lose to. Let's be honest. They're two very good AA teams, but those guys really want to get a win, so they'll be looking to take out maybe some aggression on the Lockport Lions as they finally, again, remember, Jamestown's going to be home. Lockport's going to have to make that long trip. I think the Red Raiders will be ready to go.
Lockport about 40 minutes north of the city of Buffalo, has to go all the way down to Jamestown. We see that across all ends of the spectrum, though last week we were at a game, Franklinville-Ellicottville at Wilson, and the Titans from Franklinville-Ellicottville drove 2 hours to the game, and they won that contest. So we'll see what Lockport can do in that one. Pioneer then travels to West Seneca East. This game also at 7 o'clock on Western New York Athletics. West Seneca East, if I do stand corrected, they're 2-0 on the year. They beat Cheektowaga, who's a powerhouse in their conference, and Pioneer a powerhouse as well. What can we expect out of these two heavyweights matching up in Week 3?
Yeah, I mentioned battle of 2-0 teams in that B1 division. This could very well decide who wins this B1 division. I know Iroquois is going to have a lot to say about that, but in terms of playoffs and home field advantage, this is going to be a game that really matters. I'm sure both of these teams are going to be ready to play.
Rounding out the Western New York athletics coverage for tomorrow night, Fredonia at Tonawanda. So the Hillbillies travel to the Warriors for a 7 o'clock kickoff there. I know very little about these two teams, perhaps undercovered in Section 6. I'm sure they think so as well. What can we expect out of this game?
Well, Alex Gallo has been one of the surprises of this season so far for Tonawanda. He jumped out the board on Week 1 with a huge performance leading them to win. Of course, Tonawanda lost to Akron in their next game. And then it's Fredonia 2-0. They're off to a strong start. They went to the finals last year at Highmark Stadium. They lose Nick Whitfield, but they have Ethan Fry step in at quarterback, and he's been tremendous so far this season. We wanted to get Fredonia while they were up here. We love to see that Fredonia team, so we wanted to catch them while they're up here.
And we're glad we're able to do that. Then Saturday, I'm going to be locked in on this game at 2 p.m., perhaps the best game on Saturday, and that includes the college football ranks as well. We may see one of the best games of the season between Western New York Maritime and Health Sciences taking on the Monsignor Martin's Canisius Crusaders.
They've played each other the past couple of years. Ty Parker is not afraid to schedule big opponents. I think the only time these two teams didn't play was the COVID year, and instead he decides to schedule St. Francis. Ty Parker's fearless, and this Canisius team. I was kind of surprised last week after their tough loss. They came out against a very good Aquinas team, or at least one of the top programs out of there. They got a victory, 14-13. And, Maritime's doing well. They're up in A. They're taking care of business. In previous years, this game was a blowout. I don't think that's going to be the case on Saturday. I think we're going to have a close, fun game at Stransky Field.
windows open here in the press box at Robert Rich All-High Stadium. Western New York Maritime will take on both of these teams here today. Kenmore East, they will travel to Western New York Maritime in the second to last week of the season. That'll be the last Class A3 game for the Bulldogs before their rivalry game with Kenmore West in the final week. And for South Park, it's right after that. It's the last week of the regular season. They will end their conference play with a game against the Falcons of Western New York Maritime and Health Sciences. So Bulldogs fans and Sparks fans, you'll want to tune in to see that Health Sciences team. Perhaps all the coaches across Western New York watching that game as well if you're not coaching and playing tomorrow.
Well, you mentioned it. It was funny. We did the Will South Western Maritime game. It was the only game in town. All the coaches were there. I saw Coach Delaney, Coach Nick Tadaro from Maryville was there. Coach Krasansky was there. Wow. It was like kind of a mini reunion of sorts at that game. And you saw Will South team that held its own against Maritime for at least the first half. But I think we're going to be in for a good game. I think this Maritime team is as close to they've ever have been to Canisius. And we're going to certainly be in for a game.
Well, we're as close as we've ever been to half number 2. It's a 13-point lead for the South Park Sparks, 34-21. We're about 30 seconds away from the second half. We'll be back right after this on Western New York Athletics as Francis Beck gets over to send us to commercial. We'll be back right after this. Don't go anywhere.
Sometimes it just isn't your day. We all need a little help from time to time. That's why we're committed to providing safe, quick, and cost-effective care. And we keep it simple. Just walk in. We're here for you. Learn more today.
Do you insure a lot of businesses?
Yes, we do.
How about restaurants?
We got a bunch.
Do you cover property damage?
Yes, we do.
How about my equipment?
Covered.
How about sewer backup?
We got it.
What if my cook gets hurt?
You're covered.
Foodborne illnesses?
Covered.
What if my party tent goes down?
Covered under property damage.
And you say this is all under one policy?
One policy.
When do I pay?
Once a month.
Just one time?
Just one.
Is there anything you don't cover?
What's your record for consecutive questions asked?
31.
Tables. We don't do tables.
Gotta love Buffalo.
For all your insurance questions, call the Wolf at 835-WOLF.
We realize now more than ever is the perfect time to have the perfect house. We're confident we'll find your dream home. Howard Hanna. Home happens here.
Welcome back to Robert Rich All-High Stadium in Buffalo, New York. Half number 2 underway. Kenmore East returning the opening kick. Scooping it up is Austin Turnbull, and a good return for number 9 as he gets past the 40-yard line. The Bulldogs, who scored most recently to end the first half of play, will have possession here to start half number 2, trailing by 13.
Man, Turnbull's a player. Both sides of the ball is, we've been calling his name a lot, and he's one of those guys that Coach O'Malley's got as a leader, I think.
Well, Turnbull missed a 45-yard field goal attempt taken with 6 seconds left in that first half. A dispute over how much time was to wind down after that kick. Tim Delaney not too happy, not getting a chance to touch the ball offensively with 3 or so seconds left in the first half. He'll instead set up defensively here for 1st and 10, and the Bulldogs jump offside.
You can see some adjustments there right away from South Park there. They figured out that dive, I think, because they were ready to pounce on that thing.
And they didn't flinch at all. So the Bulldogs perhaps forgot the snap count. It's not too loud here at All-High Stadium. Not a fan assist. Stands hold 5,000 here at All-High Stadium. Newly renovated. The new turf this season looks beautiful with Buffalo Athletics written across it. Home to all Buffalo Public Schools football teams as they rotate between here and Riverside. A fumble on the play. South Park recovers. They didn't get a chance to touch it offensively late in the first half. They'll get to do it early in the second. Just 32 seconds, wind down in quarter number 3, and the Sparks take over in offensive territory.
Yeah, South Park all over that two-back dive that they've had some success on all day so far, but you could tell they talked about that in the locker room, and they not only they shut it down, they got the ball off of it.
At the 39-yard line, it'll be 1st and 10. 32 seconds into play in the third quarter. If you're rejoining us from halftime, welcome back. It was an explosive first half of offense. South Park looked to have it all wrapped up. The Kenmore East Bulldogs fight their way back, now down 2 scores, though the Sparks would like to extend that lead here. Willoughby, one of the best passers in Western New York, hands it off to Simmons up the middle. Simmons with 1 touchdown in the first half. Picks up a decent gain of 3 or 4. It'll be 2nd down.
We haven't called Simmons number too often in the field. He tends to get the ball down in the 2-point plays. He's got a couple down by the goal line, but they've been throwing the ball almost exclusively in between the 30-yard lines.
Noah Willoughby looking to break some more records this year. He had 451 yards last year against West Seneca East. He'll tuck this one and run it against Kenmore East. Just shy of the 30-yard line, he picks up 5.
Ken East had looked like a cover 4 umbrella over the top of everything, and a little pressure up front. And got a 3rd down here. I mean, these teams go back and forth a little bit the longer that Ken East gets to hang in the game.
Kenmore East without a few starters as well, offensively and defensively. All the coaching staff at Kenmore East making it known that they're without their number 1 cornerback. Out with a concussion is David Lang. 3rd down and 3. Handoff up the middle. Stopped short.
Yeah, Simmons running behind big Damari Johnson there, the middle linebacker. They put an H-back, and Johnson pulling around leading the way, but nothing doing. There's 4th and 3. Sure we'll see the ball in Willoughby's hands here.
No chance of a long field goal here. No kicker on the roster. They don't have a kicker in part because they don't have a practice field. This South Park team, as you saw in the pregame video, and if you didn't, it's out on Western New York Athletics Twitter page, that is. They practice in a field right across from the school that was donated by the city of Buffalo as almost a historical landmark so that no one can build anything on it. They've wanted to turn it into a parking lot, pave over it, build buildings there, but right across the street from South Park High School lies a patch of grass that this team practices on. No lines on the ground, no field goal post to kick through, no end zones to run plays into. And that's how they won a state championship back in 2015. One of the most remarkable state championships I think we've seen out of Western New York.
You know, like I said before, the growth that program has shown under Tim's leadership since when they first came in, and that's when I first met Tim in 2010 after playing South Park. But the growth that they've shown is just remarkable, from going from Harbor Cup team to into the section and winning a state championship is really remarkable, and credit to his work ethic and his leadership.
That was the fourth down attempt on the day by the South Park Sparks. They were stopped once by the Kenmore East Bulldogs after back-to-back sacks led to a turnover on downs in the first half. This time, South Park learns from their mistakes, and they pick up the 1st down with Nani Rivera. 1st and 10 inside the 30. Sparks looking to score for the first time since half number 1. We've eclipsed 4 minutes in quarter 3. Willoughby throws on the run outside. It's caught by Williams, turning upfield. He'll pick up a 1st down.
Yeah, Williams contributing today. Not his first catch, I don't believe. But it's probably maybe their 4th biggest weapon. That any team might be maybe like the first weapon on a lot of squads.
I'm sure a couple other schools would like to poach Corey Williams, or even a man we haven't seen yet, Samir Bowie, who's got some speed to him as well. I'm sure we'll see him later on in this half pending the score. Tyshawn Campbell, the big lineman, calls out the defense. A throw to the end zone, incomplete. Rivera nearly had that one. He wants that back.
He got his hands on it. He should have came down with that. Again, I'm impressed with Willoughby. He just flicks the ball and it's there, right? The strength of his arm is apparent as he just kind of effortlessly delivers that ball, and it's accurate every time.
Rivera, one of the many weapons of South Park not to score in the first half. Watts had 3 touchdowns. Pagan at a score. Simmons with the only other marker. 34-21 is where we stand. South Park looking to add on to their lead and bring it back to 3 possessions, but a timeout on the field by the Bulldogs of Kenmore East. We'll take a break. 8 minutes to go in the third quarter. Can Kenmore East get a stop?
We realize now more than ever is the perfect time to have the perfect house. We're confident we'll find your dream home. Howard Hanna. Home happens here.
Sometimes it just isn't your day. We all need a little help from time to time. That's why we're committed to providing safe, quick, and cost-effective care. And we keep it simple. Just walk in. We're here for you. Learn more today.
7:50 to go in the third quarter. Coach, you just said it. Tim Delaney keeps throwing the ball, and it keeps stopping the clock.
Well, yeah, it's school night, man.
Gotta wake up tomorrow.
That's what they do, though. That's what they do.
They're gonna do it until the final buzzer. When you got Noah Willoughby, why not, right, Coach?
Yeah, he's not the #1 passer in the section for nothing. But don't think that he's not going to hear about it if I don't get home in time.
Perhaps something to laugh at down in the cabins. 34-21. The score with 8 minutes to go in the third. Willoughby drops back to pass yet again. Rolls left, rolls right with pressure coming with Kelly up the middle. Incomplete, nearly picked off. Myquan Jackson almost came down with it.
Yeah, Kenny's got to hold tough here, and they, like we said before, I don't see any hands on the hips. I don't see any heads down. Was it a testament to their coach, right? I mean, a lot of teams might have laid down by now. They've been battling, and I don't see any body language, any of that coming from the sideline, and that's again a testament to Matt O'Malley and his leadership here.
3rd down and 10 at the 14. Willoughby looking left, throwing end zone. Another one off the hands of Rivera. Incomplete. Oh, he wants to get Nani his first score on the day. That one falls incomplete. He's got 2 touchdowns on the year, does Nani Rivera. He set a touchdown up. He just got tackled shy of the goal line back in the first half. That ended up being a Brandon Simmons touchdown. 4th down and 10. The 5th 4th down on the day for South Park. If Kenmore East can get a stop, my oh my, what it would do for a turn of momentum. Willoughby back to pass. Pressure coming on the side. Willoughby still on his feet. Flicks it forward. Incomplete. Regardless, a turnover on downs.
Kenny's is going to get the ball back here, but he's tough to bring down too, isn't he? You could tell, right? It looked like Big Ben in there. They were hanging all over him, and I think he got the ball away. But regardless, Kenny's getting the ball.
1st and 10, deep in Bulldog territory. Off the sideline comes the junior quarterback, Michael Bly. A linebacker in his own right last year. Bly watched the defense with laser focus that possession. He's got to be happy with the stop his D unit gave him there.
Let's see if Kenny's get something going. They're lingering in this game. Makes you wonder if there's a couple plays here and there, they'd be right in it.
You think back to early in the first half, they had a deep shot that just fell out of the hands of Myquan Jackson. This time Bly goes 10 yards over the middle. That one in and out of the hands of Austin Turnbull. A case of the drops on a few plays so far for the Bulldogs offense.
Yeah, if they're going to get it going here, they start executing and get on a roll. Some big chunk plays would help.
That was a good-looking play there.
It's been there a couple times, a little curl, flat curl route combination, and real common in all levels of football, and that seems to always be there, to be honest.
Would you try it again here on the South Park defense on 2nd and 10?
Well, they're a 3-over-3 there. It'll be there.
Bly looking this way again. He goes there again. Turnbull
There
drops it again.
Yeah.
Deja vu. And Turnbull sprints right to the sideline.
Yeah, he's frustrated with himself, and they did. You called it, Jack. They called the same play again. It was open again, and he's frustrated.
Now 3rd and long from the 13. South Park hasn't had to do a single thing here on this defensive possession, and they got 2 stops. Turnbull stays on the sideline. Bly comes out with Tyler Jakowski next to him. The middle linebacker turned receiver wears number 5 on the left end of your screen. They send 3 receivers that way, 2 out of frame. But a flag flies for delay of game.
Some confusion over there.
Jaden Young with Deion Baker with Jakowski on that near side. 3rd down and 15.
Yeah, 3rd and 15 is, believe it or not, way different than 3rd and 10. It's going to change it. It's going to change the call.
They've got a quarterback that can throw it. Bly hit for a 32-yard touchdown earlier today.
Yeah, look him go to Marquand Jackson here to take a shot.
Rolling, throwing deep. A high rainbow into triple, quadruple coverage. That one knocked away. There were 4 Sparks all within Deion Baker's vicinity.
Yeah, it looked like a Hail Mary situation there with all the guys thinking the same thing. I think they all wanted to come down with it. They should have just agreed to who was going to take it, and they'd have the ball.
That pass a bit too high in the air. It looked like it took too long to come down, that the defense was able to all set up under it. Bly's got a hefty arm on him. He can let it fly, but that time just put too much of an arc under it.
Yeah, it's a lot harder when they're expecting it, right?
Mm-hmm. Turnbull just gets this one away. Well, the Sparks got stopped on 4th down the last time they were out, and they'll take over just about where they were on that last drive. 1st and 10 in Kenmore East territory at the 30.
Coach Delaney drawing up some run plays perhaps on the sideline.
Well, we'd like to see a couple of their running backs get more touches. Brandon Simmons has been the lead back today, as he has all season. He's back out with the offense here. Corey Williams, a flex option as well, can play running back or receiver. Javari Stewart, Samir Brown, also running backs that have seen touches so far this year, though it's the lead back to the right hip of Noah Willoughby. Noah wants to throw, and he will. Over the middle, tipped again and nearly picked. At the bottom of your screen, you saw the Ken East quarterback, Bly, put his hands over his face in disbelief. Another near interception for the Bulldogs. This is just a turnover fest.
Yeah, I mean, on both sides, we can't get a receiver to haul a ball in.
Scoring update in the Maryville-Burgard game, the Flyers putting a trouncing on the Bulldogs, 38-0 at the end of the 3rd quarter. Maryville looking to be a tough opponent this season. We'll see how it shakes out come week 8. 2nd down, hand off to Simmons. Up the middle, Simmons has a 1st down.
Simmons finding a hole on the right side of the line there, and one of the few runs we've seen out of South Park in the middle of the field today.
Send a text down to Delaney at halftime. Give a couple runs to the guys.
I didn't much think of that factor until I got caught on a hot mic there.
First and 10. Could always be worse.
Certainly.
First and 10 inside the 20. Sparks were stuffed on fourth down last time they were in the red zone. This time they'll pick up a good chunk on first down with Simmons again. Winding that clock down inside 7 minutes.
Yeah, the South Park line getting some good push there, and again, big 44 there, the H-back, Damari Johnson. You can see how he's a leader on the team. He's playing both ways in this package, and he's a big physical guy. Simmons likes running behind. Pass here.
Second down and short over the middle. Rivera gets on the board. Touchdown Sparks. They've hit the 40 mark. Join the party, Nani Rivera.
Willoughby to Nani Rivera put the Sparks up 40 to 21.
Rivera cut in the middle of the field there, outside in, right under the safety, and it was probably too deep on that play. Defending grass in the middle of the end zone. Can't do that if you're going to want to succeed against South Park. They're too accurate, too explosive, and they execute too well.
They got the ball at their opponent's 38-yard line then. Willoughby, 2 points good. Under 6 minutes to go in the third quarter. South Park doubles up again on Kenmore East.
We realize now more than ever is the perfect time to have the perfect house. We're confident we'll find your dream home. Howard Hanna. Home happens here.
Sometimes it just isn't your day. We all need a little help from time to time. That's why we're committed to providing safe, quick, and cost-effective care. And we keep it simple. Just walk in. We're here for you. Learn more today. Sometimes it just isn't your day. We all need a little help from time to time. That's why we're committed to providing safe, quick, and cost-effective care. And we keep it simple. Just walk in. We're here for you. Learn more today.
Do you insure a lot of businesses?
Yes, we do.
How about restaurants?
We got a bunch.
Do you cover property damage?
Yes, we do.
How about my equipment?
Covered.
How about sewer backup?
We got it.
What if my cook gets hurt?
You're covered.
Foodborne illnesses?
Covered.
What if my party tent goes down?
Covered under property damage.
And you say this is all under one policy?
One policy.
When do I pay?
Once a month.
Just one time?
Just one.
Is there anything you don't cover?
What's your record for consecutive questions asked?
31.
Tables. We don't.
A big return on the kickoff for Jaden Young. Bulldogs have decent possession at a good place here past the 40, first and 10. Coach, you said it would come down to stopping Noah Willoughby for Kenmore East to stay in this game. They've had the offensive scoring support, but when the other team scores 42 on you, it's tough to keep up.
Yeah, I don't know. You have to play pretty well defensively to even slow down Willoughby and the receivers he has. If you're just going to sit back and let him pick you apart, you're gonna find yourself with a high score.
Well, let's talk a little bit, Coach, about taking over a program like Kenmore East, where you kind of did the same at Cheektowaga when you first started, a team that didn't have much tradition in the previous 5, 6, 7 years before, that you're able to come in and turn that culture around. What were those key pieces in turning the culture around that Kenmore East fans can look forward to from their new head coach, Matt O'Malley?
Well, I know, so Matt is excuse me, he's excited. He's got excited about the future, and especially the young kids in JV, and in the juniors and seniors he has in this club.
A run up the middle. Owen Davidson, another huge gain for the Bulldogs inside the red zone.
Yeah,
First and 10 for the Bulldogs. Well, like we mentioned, they're able to do things offensively on this South Park defense.
yeah, and they just, if they could just string it together, not turn the ball over and be consistent with that, I think they're going to run on that.
Bly keeps it himself around the left tackle, pushing forward down inside the 10.
Get some consistency in the run game there, and man, he just tough to play an offense like South Park, so you got to keep up with them. So and they force you to play without making mistakes, and they haven't been able to do that today yet.
We haven't seen the big Michael Bly quarterback run yet today. That time he's able to pick up a few yards on first down, making it 2nd and 3 at the 8-yard line.
That was a good decision there on Bly's part to keep the ball. They had the box packed, and he just ran right around it.
Handoff up the middle. I beg your pardon, they fooled me. Deion Baker takes it to the near side for a minimal gain. It's snuffed out by the defense of Damari Johnson.
Yeah, that pitch play has not been there all day. South Park's just too fast, pursuing that down and stretching it laterally. And even in one instance, turning the ball over for a touchdown.
I was just going to say that seemed to be the only play where the pitch was there.
Right.
And they couldn't catch the pass from Michael Bly. Still plenty of time left, though. A full 15 minutes now under that. Bly under center. 2 in the backfield. It's Baker and Davidson and a flag. They'll back up the offense.
And Matthew Reiner, that looks like jumped. But he and those linemen have made some holes today at times. They pretty much won the line of scrimmage for most of the night.
That's perhaps credit to Sam Camp at the right tackle position, jumping in today after filling in for Cameron Zolnowski at the right tackle position. Pulowski, Cray, O'Hanrahan, and Reinard join Camp on that offensive line here at All High Stadium.
O'Hanrahan, the center, maybe my favorite name out there today.
I thought he'd be playing for South Park in South Buffalo. You would think Patrick O'Hanrahan. Bly's pass is complete, though for no gain. Samir Bowie, there he is, number 9, makes a play defensively.
Tackle for loss on the play.
They're sending out a different personnel package here. I don't know if they're going to kick this or.
Turnbull had an attempt from 45. This one would be much closer. It looks like they are going to go for the field goal attempt. Good to get points at the very least. A 33-yard attempt. Low snap, put down by Bly. That kick would have been good from 45. Ken East, 24 points on the board. They cut it within 3 possessions again. It's down to 2.
Jack, you're talking about turning the culture around, and certainly it starts with the staff, I think, and who you bring in and keeping that consistent. I mean, that to me was a key. We had so many years at Cheektowaga with Coach Zip before me, and JV staff we had for years and years, and it's hard to find. And I think if Coach O'Malley can keep his staff together and have those guys work together and, build up, what he has here, this year. I think they're looking up. With 50 kids on a JV team, that's not common these days. And, I think if you can keep a staff together, that's only going to grow.
And not only on the varsity side, but down through modified as well.
Certainly, yeah.
We saw that lead to a decade of dominance by the Warriors. You've said before how you just reap the benefits of the modified and JV coaching staffs.
Right. The staff is key, and we were lucky. I was a group of great guys for years and years that worked together.
Nani, past the 40. Surely putting 24 points up on this South Park team is a positive to look at if you're Kenmore East, after scoring just 14 points last week and 12 points the week before.
Yeah, it's no small task, and to be honest, it's hard to hang with a team that can just pretty much throw the ball at will and put those kind of points up. You have to play pretty perfectly and control the ball, control the clock, and unfortunately, Ken East has made a few too many mistakes to keep this game close.
First down and 10 at the 41. Willoughby not done throwing. Along the near sideline, complete for 3 or 4. No, they say incomplete. Rivera was there, but Kelly broke it up. Well, there's 3 games on next week, Thursday in Western New York, and we've got our game picked out. I'm pumped for it. Hutch Tech and the Engineers will travel to AA's Lancaster. We'll be live from Lancaster High School to see one of the best offenses in Western New York in the Legends take on Hutch Tech. That game at 7 o'clock. Well, Coach Fata, when looking at the schedule for next week, I was worried we'd get sent to Cattaraugus Little Valley. A big hit will not negate the catch. Drayon Johnson makes the catch, keeps possession through the hit.
Turnbull laying the boom there.
That got a rise out of a somewhat silent crowd.
Certainly. Johnson held on to that, though. It's even more impressive.
You see the clock ticking down from 50. It's a bus ride for both teams to All High Stadium. South Park about 7-minute drive away from All High. Willoughby goes over the middle. What a missile that was. It just missed everyone. All High Stadium attached to Bennett High School. The Bennett Tigers, one of the most dominant teams in Western New York. They also call this field home. Hence the Buffalo Athletics logo at midfield. There used to be 3 stadiums shared by the Buffalo Public Schools. The other was the War Memorial Stadium, the old rock pile. Was the third. That one now shut down, at least for high school usage. All High and Riverside, the lone remaining. 4 receivers go deep. Willoughby has a pass complete, able to stay on his feet on the far sideline. A.J. Watts. Well, he went down with an injury earlier in the first half. We were worried if Watts would stay in the game, and I think I'm speaking on behalf of everyone in attendance. We're glad to see number 5 is playing at the level he's at.
And Willoughby just taking what Ken East is giving him. He's comfortable back in the pocket, and he's just delivering, as we said, accurate throws. In that case, Watts curling up and in front of the defensive corner there and making it look easy.
That'll do it for the third quarter. 42-24. South Park looking to hang on to their second straight win in Class A3 as we enter the final 12 of play. We'll be back with that final quarter right after this on WNY Athletics.
I love the
With exclusive buyer insights and our 100% money-back guarantee, we're confident we'll find buyers for your home. Howard Hanna. Home happens here.
Logistics Plus is a global transportation provider headquartered in Erie, PA with locations worldwide, including right here in Western New York. Logistics Plus is consistently recognized as a fast-growing transportation and logistics company, great supply chain partner, top freight broker, leading project cargo manager, and a great place to work. With a strong passion for excellence, our 500-plus employees put the plus in logistics. Call our Buffalo office today for an efficient, personal approach for all of your transportation needs.
Sometimes it just isn't your day. We all need a little help from time to time. That's why we're committed to providing safe, quick, and cost-effective pediatric care. And we keep it simple. Just walk in. We're here for you. Learn more today.
Back for the fourth quarter. Willoughby looking to throw. Complete over the middle. Corey Williams makes the catch.
Williams is a contributor for sure. He's been pretty steady for South Park. They're right back to the wristbands and right to the line of scrimmage.
Hurry up offense for South Park. Willoughby in shotgun. Two receivers up top, one down at the right side of your screen. He goes to the left in the end zone. Bobbled. Incomplete. Rivera looking for number 2 on the day.
Rivera, if he caught that clean, he'd have 6.
Boy, we were tasked with picking players of the game for this one. Coach, it's tough to narrow it down for South Park. Though Willoughby seems to be a for sure lock.
I mean, certainly without Willoughby, we're having a different conversation, right? But it's tough. He's so many receivers, and they're all pretty dynamic. I mean, that guy's got my vote, though.
A.J. Watts inside the 15.
Not only has Watt had a big offensive game, he had that fumble recovery for
an 80-yard
80
touchdown.
yards, yeah, something like that.
Yeah, the first 2 scores of the game with a fumble recovery, and then South Park goes over the top, 28-yard touchdown catch, and then later on a 65-yard touchdown catch. Yeah, I'd agree. A.J. Watt seems to be a player of the game for that.
Although the play of the game for me was Pagan's run after catch.
Willoughby takes it himself. He bowls into his own man, continues moving forward to the 5. Boy, get out of your way if Noah Willoughby's turning his head down.
Yeah, he can do that if he needs to, right? I don't know if that's his first choice of plays, but I think he said at practice, didn't he? He can do it if he needs to.
Kind of like Brady. I'm not the fastest, but I'll run you over, is what he said.
Certainly did. I saw somebody in white flying out of that pile, so someone learned the hard way.
The pom-poms of the South Park cheerleaders at the bottom of your screen. Willoughby with a pitch. Here's Dreyon Johnson stuffed.
Good pursuit by Ken East there. They're not lying down.
Joseph Kelly Jr. on the tackle. He's been a solid player back in the linebacker spot for Ken East today.
Yeah, as we said before, I know Coach O'Malley's looking for those guys he can build a program on, and this game seems out of reach a little bit, and he's going to test the character of his guys, and I know he's very attuned to those things.
Kelly, one of 6 seniors on the roster for Kenmore East. A timeout on the field will give us a chance to talk about the Connolly Cup finalists, or nominations rather, that were announced for Week 2. If you missed the action from last week, there are the nominees. Standing out to me, Rashard Perry. He's SEC bound, at least we presume. He's got offers from all sorts of D1 schools for Bennett as the big offensive and defensive lineman for the Tigers continues his dominance. We got to see John Nuzzo with Franklinville-Ellicottville. He had a day on the ground and in the air, gets the nod. So you may be wondering, there's some names on here that weren't, or that were not included in week 1 that were included in week 2, and week 1 players that were not included in week 2. They made it so you can't be nominated in back-to-back weeks this year. First 4 weeks, there you go, from Francis Beck. That I know is true. First 4 weeks you can't be nominated twice, so a couple players there not getting the nod for week 2 that also had great performances. This time it falls incomplete as Willoughby was looking for Rivera again. We can expect Willoughby and or A.J. Watts to get a nod in the Connolly Cup conversation after this game.
Yeah, Willoughby is a special player for sure. And, you'd think all the talent that Coach Delaney's had over the years, and he says he's the best quarterback he's had, and that's saying something. And I would tend to agree.
Third down from the 5-yard line, 3rd and goal. Still 9.5 to play. If Kenmore East can muster a stop here on the following 2 downs, we'll see. Willoughby around the left. Met by a swarm of Bulldogs. 4th down.
That's a design quarterback run to the left side there, and it's pretty well defended by Ken East. I saw a big 44 in there again.
Well, Willoughby got the nomination in week 1 for the Connolly Cup, so he'll not be eligible for this week. Perhaps opening the door for an A.J. Watts to slide in, pending what happens here on 4th down. With this timeout called by the Sparks, let's take a look at our Trench Trophy nominations from week 2. The men on the lines, offensive and defensive. Rashard Perry nominated for both the Connolly Cup and the Trench Trophy. That Ryan Carpenter for Randolph, not the one we saw at Cheektowaga a couple years ago.
No relation.
That Randolph team, though, is a hefty run squad. Xander Hind has been a dominant force down in Class D. There's a big matchup in Class D this week. Franklinville-Ellicottville takes on Randolph. We got to see Franklinville-Ellicottville last week. The Titans already had their eyes on the Cardinals as one of the top teams in that class moving into this week.
Yeah, I'm sure Randolph will be their eyes on Nuzzo. He was phenomenal last week. Be interesting to see who comes out on top there. That's going to be a good matchup.
Lockport at Jamestown, Pioneer at West Seneca East, and Fredonia at Tonawanda, all on our networks tomorrow night at 7 and Saturday at 2. It's Health Sciences at Canisius. Here now, it's a 4th down and goal. Willoughby drops back to pass, throws to the left side, touchdown. Simmons, he's got one running and he's got one catching. 48-24.
Simmons out of the backfield. I don't think that I think I saw some man coverage out of Ken East and some confusion there as who has the back out of the backfield because he popped wide open.
Back-to-back touchdowns for the Sparks for the first time since the first 2 scores of the game. The first 3 scores with Watts and Pagan combining for the first 3. We line up for the extra point attempt. Willoughby throws back corner. He's well out of bounds. This throw was intended for Watts, but to no avail. 48-24 the score. The Sparks bounce back up. 8:43 left to play in the 4th. If you're still joining us, we thank you. And we invite you to stick around for the final 8:43. We look forward to you joining us next week for a Hutch Tech Lancaster game. Well, I'm pumped to dive deep on this Lancaster team. They've been dominant for a couple seasons. One of the smartest coaching staffs in Western New York.
I feel like we made the big leagues now. We're at Lancaster next week.
Finally jumping up to AA. No more Wilson. No shot at Wilson.
Yeah, no Cattaraugus County. Must have been because I gave Francis my seat earlier.
That's it. Halftime, he warmed it up for you. Perhaps he snuck an almond or two as well.
Yeah, if it keeps me in 20 minutes away, he can have all the almonds.
Here's Turnbull. Bit unnecessary, but Turnbull displays his strength.
Yeah, Turnbull's been a warrior for Ken East. He's played physically, and he's not backing down an inch.
Perhaps a chance to see the backups defensively for South Park here. Though we still see the two main defensive tackles, Tyshawn Campbell and Isaiah Collins, in the middle of the D line. Well, they're keeping the starters out there. Josh Mitchell now at D end on the near side wearing number 12. There you see Damari Johnson. Let him know his assignment. Bly under center. Pressure coming. Run up the middle. Davidson fights for 6.
This is my favorite Ken East play right there. There's that simple dive. It's been pretty much getting 5+ yards all night for the most part.
Most frustrating play to defend in Madden.
Oh, yeah?
The fullback dive.
Is that true?
Well, it's demoralizing.
Oh, is it?
When you're giving up 5 yards of play like that.
I know they had that in Madden 98.
Is that the last time you played the game?
Might have been, yeah.
Well, 48-24 our score. 8 minutes left now. You should really test out the new games. They got much better graphics now.
Yes, right. My son's on that game all the time. I don't think I'm getting on there anytime soon.
Next week, South Park will head to Grand Island for a Friday night matchup with the Vikings before returning home, quote-unquote, to Riverside to play the Spartans of Starpoint, a team that just took down this Kenmore East team 40-14. The schedule doesn't get any easier from here on out for the Sparks. A good warm-up for the season as they're able to take down Amherst 44-zip last week. Those Amherst Tigers will head to Kenmore East next week for a Friday night matchup, 7 o'clock as well. The Tigers currently up 36-34. Will South driving with 3:30 to go. Will South driving inside the 30. They've got the ball, 3.5 to go. Can Amherst hang on, or will the Billies storm all the way back for Joe Licata's first win as a head coach at Will South? We will see. That game also being produced by Western New York Athletics, though not on our pages. Well, this one is. This week we've got it. So go and check that game out when we're done here, of course. Baker gets taken down.
Yeah, that pitch play hasn't been anywhere near successful, I don't believe. Today it's been nothing but negative yards and disaster for Ken East.
Is it impossible to just run that fullback dive all game? Perhaps it's a bit late now, but
it's certainly not impossible. I think I lost a couple games like that, actually.
Just running the same play over and over.
Getting it run on us. Yeah. It takes patience, but.
Does a particular game come to mind?
Yeah, I don't like to talk about it in public.
Okay, all right, that's fair.
No, it's definitely a strategy against a team like South Park who can score quickly. And at this point in the game, though, you need to be a little more dynamic. You're down double.
Well, I think Matt O'Malley has proven his case to the players on the sideline for Kenmore East, the parents of the players on the sideline for Kenmore East, the school itself, going into South Park today and putting up 24 points, if not more. Here's an impressive stat line after posting just 14 points last week at home. They're able to put up half the amount of offense, and they, like we said, they were in this game until very recently here in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, to beat someone who I guess I'd say has a better roster than you. You have to play perfectly almost. You need the balls to bounce your way, and Ken East didn't get that today, but they're playing hard, still playing hard. And,
what a pick.
Intercepted.
Sliding down from the D-line position. Number 55 able to scoop it up. Elijah Wright, the sophomore, gets one of his first snaps on the D-line. And he's got a pick as Bly was pressured in the backfield.
Big guy. I think they call that the thick six. You just get more celebration out of those big guys when they get interceptions. You just kind of roll with it there.
It's a sophomore move. Doesn't want to make it about himself in a game like this. 48-24, just another play. Getting the ball back in your quarterback's hands. Well, now you get a look at number 15, Corey Williams, in the backfield. Perhaps we'll see what he can do, and we will. Or perhaps what he can't do. Picks up the first down.
He was pretty slippery there. He squared right through there for just a quick 15, Jack.
He's averaging 15 yards a carry now. Hand off again. Well, South Park will improve their record over these Kenmore East Bulldogs to 3-1 all time.
Feel the weather changing too. Gone are the days of the polo, I think, and might need a Western New York Athletics parka pretty soon.
Very cool. We might. The Canada Goose WNYA.
Are those out there?
I think they're. Well, it's the shortage.
Is that what it is?
Supply chain issues stop those from coming as Williams takes it for another first down. Well, we know at Lancaster they've got a nice press box at that facility. We'll be at least inside then, but as the weeks continue to count down and we move towards autumn and winter, dare I say it.
Lancaster might be the kind of place they feed you at halftime, too.
We were looking for a concession stand here at All High. There is none.
I'm not begging. I'm just saying it's the kind of place, Lancaster. They do it right there.
It's true. Williams looking for his first. He's got it.
He's feeling it. He's quick and slippery, and he's squirted right through there. Again, maybe does average 15 a carry.
Before today, he averaged 8.5 a carry. That's his third touchdown on the year for the junior Swiss Army knife. We've got a 50 burger at Buffalo at Robert Rich All High, 54-24.
Some sprint out here, huh?
How about the big man getting into the end zone for two, Damari Johnson. Why not? He's been doing it all for the Sparks today.
He would have walked in, but he wanted some kind of contact, so he ran his own guy over on the way in.
It's all for the highlight reels. They'll watch that one back. We'll take a break with 3.5 left in the fourth. It's a 32-point lead.
Western New York Immediate Care's new locations are now open. Whether you've suffered a minor injury or just aren't feeling well, Western New York Immediate Care provides safe, quick, high-quality care at an affordable cost. Our clinicians are trained to diagnose and treat non-life-threatening injuries and illnesses and are equipped with on-site site, X-ray and labs to help you feel better, faster.
We're back after a kickoff was brought past the 35 for Kenmore East. The Billies have scored. The Williamsville South Billies are up 40-36 with 20 seconds to go in the fourth quarter. Amherst will have a chance. They've got one timeout left. Folks, I'm telling you, you're going to want to check out the ending of that game. Amherst and Will South. Joe Licata looking for his first win as head coach of the Billies, the longtime UB quarterback. Taking over the program, he lost a heartbreaker in week 1 to rival Williamsville East. They're looking to rebound to win the title of Kings of Main Street. All right, you're still with us, so we'll just let you know how it ends. This one looks to be all but over, and well, almost on cue. A fumble is recovered. Well, we don't have an official's ruling. The entire South Park defense says that's ours. May as well give it to them. Nope, they say second down. Love the call. Give Bly a chance to go deep here. I want to see this kid release the cannon.
Well, it's clearly a fumble recovery by South Park, but that's how it goes sometimes, I guess.
Maybe they saw his knee was down. Alternate angle, we don't have it. Ref on the far side saw the knee touch.
None of them saw anything.
Amherst down by 4 with 10 seconds left. 2nd and 10 from their own 27. This is Kenmore East down by 32. Davidson bounces off of one and gets slammed to the turf by another. Under 3 minutes to go. If you enjoyed this broadcast, folks, you're going to want to tune in next week. Lancaster and Hutch Tech, 7 o'clock Thursday night. We'll be with you Thursday nights here on out for the high school football season, just the way we like it. Keep your Fridays free and easy, and join us on Thursday to start your weekend, your pre-weekend, I like to call it, outright. Who doesn't love a good pre-weekend on Thursday night? Get it rolling. You're able to enjoy your Friday.
Absolutely. Depending on how late that is, absolutely.
So the Tigers of Amherst have a 2nd and 10 from their own 42. This game played at Amherst. The Billies are up by 4 with 2 seconds left. Perhaps a Hail Mary attempt coming up for the Amherst Tigers. Stu Boyer, I believe, on the call for that one.
Does Francis take Stu's seat at halftime? Or just mine?
I don't think so. I don't think he's been in a game with Stu Boyer.
I don't think he'd dare.
We love Francis back here at Western New York Athletics. Glad he was helping us out today.
Absolutely.
Baker able to pick up a first down. Amherst's final play, 2 seconds left. Incomplete pass. Joe Licata has won his first game with the Williamsville South Billies as head coach, 40-36 over Main Street rival Amherst. That's your scoring update. Maryville, I assume, held on to their lead over the Burgard Bulldogs. They were up by a hefty margin in the latter stages of the fourth quarter there. Final score 38-0 Maryville. This one entering their final minute. Let's go through it, folks. South Park started the game out on a shaky note. Noah Willoughby threw a pick on the first play from scrimmage. It was a fumble recovery on the next drive, forced by the South Park defense. If you want to say that, it was scooped up by Watts. He takes it 80 yards to the house for the game's first score. 6-0 is where we stood before Watts and Pagan added touchdowns through the air to extend the lead to 20. Davidson would get an answer for Kenmore East before Watt scored his third from 65 yards away. Then Young responded for the Bulldogs. Simmons responded for the Sparks. Jackson responded for the Bulldogs as we ended the half with a 13-point game. The Sparks have looked no further than that in the second half. It was only a field goal kicked by Austin Turnbull in half number 2 that has given 3 points to the Bulldogs, bringing their score to 24. A Rivera, Simmons, and Williams touchdown brings the lead to 56-24. As the clock winds down the final 5 from All High Stadium, we thank you for joining us here on Western New York Athletics. Thursday night high school football returns with a bang. 56-24. South Park takes the victory over Kenmore East, remaining perfect in Class A3 play. The Sparks now 2-1 overall. The Bulldogs still in search of their first win since 2019. We thank you for joining us here on Western New York Athletics. Be sure to keep your eyes on our social media pages for post-game interviews with our MVPs of the game, Noah Willoughby and A.J. Watts. Glad you could join us tonight, and we thank you for taking time out of your Thursday to be with us. 56-24, your final score.
Life can be full of surprises, but not always the good kind. That's why we're committed to providing safe, quick, and cost-effective care, and we keep it simple. Just walk in. We're here for you. Learn more today.
There's nothing better than owning the perfect house to come home to. You've earned it, and we'll make it happen. Our local real estate experts and in-house team of financial professionals make buying or selling your home simple. Howard Hanna. Home happens here.